Sorry, buddy. What's this guy doing? I don't even need to touch him. So in this scenario here, I have a lot of perks. 35 more with these 6. So that is a number. And I wanted to celebrate that I have officially gotten every single perk, 100%, and that means that I have achieved the 1% status of getting this achievement. So in order to do that, you have to use the perk machine and just go through the game and get every perk. And then you have to get this one special perk called Spatial Awareness that is not found in any shop. You have to get that by killing the Mecha Colmy in this factory area. So that was an adventure. I had to travel a long distance to find a Thunder Charge and Piercing Shot. And yes, that's what I did for that. So I actually want to do a ranking of all the perks and with a tier list. So that would be a fun exercise of mentally placing them where they ought to be. Before I do that, I do want to give a disclaimer that in order to explain all the perks, all the ways to abuse perks, and all the mechanics and how they interact with each other, it is going to involve some spoilers in the game. So if you haven't explored the game on your own, and you haven't, and you have a desire to, you don't want to have all this fun stuff spoiled, you want to explore and figure things out yourself, then stop watching. Or you can save this for later after you've beat the game and you want to just figure stuff out. Because on that note, I had that philosophy at first when I started playing this game years ago, that I'll just figure stuff out. Except a lot of this game, I don't know how you would know to do things. It wants you to solve this puzzle, and like some of them you have to I guess you have to go to the code base and decipher this certain line and all that. But anyway, some things are kind of cool that I just learned on accident. And you may wonder why I have 35 perks. How is that even possible? I wanted to get a good number so I could have some to demonstrate for this run. So I'm on a god run right now, they would call it, because I have transcended the universe, the limitations of the game by going to... So this is the main world. This is where you start. So normally you are led to believe that you just go down this cave, down this layer, into the shop, and then you go to the next layer, you go through different biomes, collect spells, and get some cool things. And you can see that there is both a shop and a perk selection area. So you would normally only get 5 perks. You could get the lucky dice thing that gets you the chance of getting more, but that's typical, is just get 5 in a normal quote-unquote run. However, if you have the ability to backtrack, that's kind of where the game gets interesting. You can use a black hole to dig out of the shop back to where you were, or a luminous drill. There's white hole. There is different options. And if you got all the way back to the surface, you could get some secret areas over here. You go over this tree to, this secret area. Now, the real challenge comes where you get to the border of, the world you're in, on either side, the east or the west, and then you're like, well, this is the end of the game, right? Actually, not really, because this is a segment of cursed rock. It's also a cursed field, so if you're in the area, not just touching the rock, you take damage. But if you have enough health, and you have maybe ambrosia, so you won't take any damage, you can just break it with black holes and walk across it all the way to a parallel universe. Whoa. A parallel world that has the exact same, not the exact same, but it has the same format for the 5 layers again, which means you can get more perks, and actually an infinite number of perks if you're patient enough. You can just go in one direction forever, and you could have quite a bit of health. You could have all the immunities, and you could have 100% projectile resistance. You could have infinite healing and all this. So there are definitely ways to break the game if you know what you're doing. And that is where the game gets fun, because at this point in the game here, I've got almost 3,000 health. I didn't take damage, I just picked up that health at pickup earlier. So we heal up. And I can consistently do like 3,000 damage. So I don't know how much that was. Now, it's actually kind of difficult for me to die on purpose. I'd have to just like fall in a container of acid, I guess. So the game might get a little boring at this point. But there's definitely some added challenges and quests in the game that you can explore yourself at this point. And I would say that these type of runs are difficult to record because you could do 9 hours in just this, while a normal run just going through different zones might take 40 minutes. You need a bit more patience for trying to break the game like this. So you can see here I'm immune to melee, immune to toxic, lightning, explosion. I'm not immune to whatever just hit me there. So anyway, so that just gets you the idea of what you can do with perks, how you can abuse them. And so for my ranking here, before I get too distracted, I'm going to come back over here. So I tried this before and I yapped too much. So let me go somewhere safe and chill. So I have some perks to demonstrate some things, but let me go over my criteria, I think. So I asked Claude to alphabetize these because they just came in some random order. But now that it matches the wiki, that's going to make my recording a little shorter. I don't have to try to find the description again. So I'm assuming that the best perk is not going to matter the type of run you're doing. It's just overall good. So whether you're trying to beat a certain boss, whether you're trying to beat a certain time, or you want to do a long run like I'm doing and just get everything and try to be invincible. So it's overall good for anything. And there's just no reason not to take it. There's no downside. So that would be my criteria for always take. Quality of life, it's generally good, just makes the game easier, but you don't necessarily need it to win the game. But it's just, really beneficial and nice to have. Good but annoying. I didn't come up with these categories, by the way. This is just some template that someone made. Annoying, good but annoying. It has a drawback, so you have to manage it well and be somewhat careful or have some kind of balance with other perks. Gamba, that would be slang for gamble. So that would be pretty simple. We could just put the gamble there as a head start. Gamble means if you pick this up, you are going to get 2 random perks, and they may benefit you. They may cancel out another perk, or they may be detrimental to you. So of the 106 perks, this doesn't include the elemental or the greed perk. So I think that's 110 total. But of all of these, there's only a few that are really kind of negative that actually hurt you in a way. So it's not a bad gamble usually, but it is a gamble. So there's never a reason necessarily to take it, especially when you have the ability to break the game and go to a parallel world. There's no limit on the perks, so there's no reason to take this. But it's fun. So if you like the gamble, then you can gamble. Situational needs setup. I mean, depends on the type of run. If you're trying to do a melee build or you're trying to do a certain wand, you might want to buff that wand or do something special with whatever your playstyle is. And better than nothing. I mean, it can't hurt you, but it's not great. So, if it's your only option. And then there's no reason to get it. There's never a good reason to get it. Just don't get it. Reroll or skip. So those are the categories. I like these categories. I'm not going to change them. So let's start with the first one. All-seeing eye. Pretty simple. You have the entire map revealed, so there's no fog of war like this. Everything. So it helps you in this dark cave here. And that dark cave is, by the way, so you know what I'm talking about. Right here. So in the first zone, there's a spooky cave that is normally magically dark, and you need either a spell or the all-seeing eye perk to go through. There's a full heal here, but it is a path to this boss here, which you need to get the infinite spells and abuse black holes or healing. I mean, you don't need to go that way. You could. I like kind of digging this way, so I can use this bottom area as cover. You could go if you can get over the tree. You can dig down from the snow. But anyway, so all-seeing eye is generally good because you can see all of the things on the map. Like if there's a chest somewhere, if there's a heart somewhere, you could see what might be in here or there. So you're not going to waste time digging there and there's nothing or something you don't want. You'll know where there's these secret shops. The only downside I can think to the all-seeing eye, where is right here, is that when I explore the game and I want to try to stay alive, I typically might want to backtrack the way I came because I'm reasoning that it's actually safe because I've killed all the enemies in that path. So if the whole zone is explored, there's no fog of war. I might kind of lose track of where it is I'm exploring. So I might wander off and get lost in a certain area just because I don't know where I'm going. But that's just me. So if you're smart, unlike me, you might use landmarks and I don't know, dig a path so you know where to go. So you can see here, if I just go somewhere, I don't have to. All this is explored. I've never been over here. I just kind of went straight to that dragon to get the heart. Let's see, there's this guy. What is this one here? It is. I don't care. Let's get that gold. So you get the idea. And then we have. It's right here. Always cast. So I haven't always cast on this one here. That's why I've kept this wand for a very long time, because it is always cast Petrify. So it has a chance to turn an enemy. Well, it's kind of a finisher. So if I shoot him, well, not like that. So he didn't happen there. Let me see if it happens this way. Nope. Nope. So I think I killed him too fast, but what does happen is if their health is below 40%, there is a small chance they turn into stone, and then they don't drop gold, but they die instantly. So that's pretty cool. So always cast, it always casts the spell, in the wand, no matter where it is in the sequence of spells. So it's basically free money. So we have some odds here. So if you want to check on the wiki to see what you would get, you're pretty likely to get a modifier. So nothing crazy like homing or anything. These are kind of more rare, I guess. I got acid trail once, and that was kind of sad because I don't really want to spew forth acid. So here are all the modifiers. Icy shot's pretty good. Um, upward larpa is funny with black holes. Any of the weaknesses are good. So it just depends. Like you could get something useless like orbiting arc here, true orbit, which I think I have that spell. Yeah, it's on my healing here. So I put this on here. I'm gonna just do this, and that's not helpful for my teleporting. So I would say that is for sure. That would have to be in the gamble category because it is a gamble. That's just 100% what it is. I don't know why you're debugging. Angry Ghost. Let's see. What is the Angry Ghost? He is eh, not my favorite perk. It is essentially he's a buddy that shoots copies any projectile shot near him. So he could copy your spells, but he'll also copy enemy spells, any kind of environmental hazards that happen around you, like those traps in the art. Um, he doesn't actually copy the modifiers on it, just the spell itself. So that's important to know. He can copy limited time spells like Black Hole, which is pretty cool. Um, but what happens is he ends up aggroing the wrong enemy. He just kind of shoots where you're shooting. He'll shoot an explosive. Um, you'll shoot one explosive, magic missile, and he'll shoot one, and the second one will hit something you don't want. So he is kind of a gamble, I would say, because he could help you or hurt you. He doesn't really care. And plus, if you're trying to avoid enemies and just run to the exit because you're low on health or something, he's not going to help you because he's just going to copy all the damage that's around you. Anything shooting you, he's going to shoot back with that same spell, which could be dangerous. Attract gold? Is that what we call that one? That is attract gold. Very good. I don't have this one to demonstrate for you, but it's pretty simple. You can see the gold is attracted to you. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Is it necessary? I don't think so. It's kind of just lazy. Gold takes a good 40 seconds to despawn. I don't know. That's my estimate. And do you need it? Eh, I guess it's better than nothing. That's what I would put it at. Um, Maybe early game, you don't have to dip yourself in fire or acid to get some gold. While later on, you might have some immunity to certain elements. So if you get it early game, it's not bad. So that's that. What is this one called? Materialized bomb or something? It is called, yeah, bomb materialized. It's kind of a weird one. So normally you have. I don't have an example of that, but if I had a bomb spell or a magic missile spell, I had. Oh, actually, it's only bombs. So only TNT, bomb, glitter bomb, propane tank, holy bomb, giga holy bomb, and rocks. Doesn't include a nuke for some reason, huh? I guess it would be too powerful nukes, maybe. I don't know. So you have your wands here in the first four slots, and then you have the next four slots for items. So instead of a bomb spell, you could put it as an item and just use it as an item. So That's basically, it's kind of like an item or an, what do you call it, an inventory optimization spell because I'm saving a slot in my wand for something else. Um, Otherwise, it doesn't really do anything else. It is kind of okay if you have the unlimited spells perk because then I can just have infinite bombs whenever. I don't need to worry about holding that in um, a wand or something. So I would say that is, what would I put that on? Better than nothing? You could probably skip it. Like, it's not needed. It's not good. Very niche, I would say. Boomerang, pretty simple. Your spells boomerang back to you. I think it also increases damage, a little extra damage. Yeah, so it gives you 15 extra projectile damage, 2.5 extra explosive damage. It does increase the speed, but that's not going to matter because it rotates back to you. So it goes really fast and comes back. I would think that there is no reason to get the spell. Unless you're just going for a straight melee build, you want to use Luminous Drill or Chainsaw. That would extend the lifetime. The Boomerang perk I have here, I think I have it, yeah. I had I had the healing bolts, and the best way to use healing bolts is with Boomerang. I could probably demonstrate that here. Yeah. It has to pierce my shield, so it is kind of some anti-synergy here. I could probably, can I jump up and get it? No. So you have some example of, oh, awkward, but um, yeah, that's kind of what it does on a perk level. So instead of having the spell where you can control what having the modifier to modify which spell it goes with, every spell, everything you cast is going to be boomeranged. So you don't want to limit the range of your spells every time. So I think that is a hard no. Also, a hard no would be bounce. This might be controversial because you can do the Luminous Drill combo. So Luminous Drill is this spell. It normally is a very short laser. I can just show you that. Luminous Drill. I think it's a staple spell. You kind of need it to dig through materials like this. Pretty good. It can dig through, I think, any material in the game. So it's, if you don't have a black hole, it's a good substitute. This does not increase the damage, but increases the length of the beam. You actually would prefer to have the bounce spell, just like you'd want the boomerang spell. So it's not going to be every single spell you have bounces around, because the downside of that here, you're not going to hit your target. So if this was an explosive, that's going to bounce off and hit here, and that would hurt you if you had a magic missile or something. Also, if you had a teleport bolt, you would teleport and it would bounce. I think it bounces at least once, sometimes twice. You're never going to hit your target. You're never going to teleport where you want to teleport. So that's bad. Uh, if you just want to win the game, just want to do a simple run and you have a luminous drill, and this is a very strong build, but the ability to kite with the teleport to survive bosses, that is just unparalleled. And the speed to avoid enemies with teleport, I don't think you would ever want to make teleport useless. So that would be my logic there. What is this called? Breathless? Something like that? I know the pictures, but not the names. So I've have over 800 games and what, 500 plus hours? 630 hours. And I don't know the names, so bear with me. Breathless is a passive perk which causes you to no longer drown or succumb to suffocation. So you can swim in water. It's like, okay, I mean, that's cool. Uh, it actually counts for all liquids, so it would count for this too, the toxic. Um, I think it counts for, like, if you had blood or oil. Don't quote me on that. But what is it really used for? It makes getting through here a little easier. It's kind of annoying to drain this water. Otherwise, you just have to um, be patient with that area. I think it's really used for the whole reason it's in the game, I guess, is to fight this boss down here. So, spoiler, there's this giant crab boss. Um, I don't know his name, but he's actually pretty easy. He doesn't move, he's just kind of a scary entity in the background. And if you have Breathless and Teleport, you just zip around him and you can shoot him with. He's immune to most damage, but you can put the weaknessing curse to weakness spells and then kill him that way. Um, I don't know why else you would want Breathless. Uh, yeah, so it's gonna be. It's not necessarily a skip because if you're actually going for that boss, it's good. Um, I don't know. I guess if you have the blood perk and you want to flood the area with liquid, the blood, you could use. I'll put it here, but it might be here. We'll revisit that one. Close call? Is that what we call that? Close call? Close call? Yes. Close call seems good. You can see it increases the crit damage as long as you are close to an enemy. Or adds 40% crit chance as long as they are very close to you within 56 pixels. So this is very close. Now this guy's a melee enemy here, so he's going to be close to you anyway. But otherwise, you don't really want to be that close to enemies. So if you're trying to build like a shotgun build or a build to get in their faces and that's your preference, that's cool. Otherwise, yeah, this is insane damage. But if you're that close, you might be dead yourself. So, I don't know. Not sure about that. So I'll put that as good but annoying. So it is good, but it requires you to take some risk and invest in close range spells. That's why it's called Close Call. And then we have Concentrated Spells, one of the better spells, I think, or perks. There is a spell of the same name, so that's a theme for a lot of these. But this applies to all of your spells passively. So it reduces the spread of spells. So if I can show here my wand. This one has, you see the last text there before the always cast. It has some max mana speed, capacity, and then the spread is 0. So this is shooting very straight. That's what we want. It just freezes my game because it's so many pixels and it's straight. This one is 1 degree, 0 degrees, 1 degree. This one's a little crooked, so I don't know what I just did there. Oh, because I put this here. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's the black hole. But some spells are going to be like, I don't know, 40 degrees deviation. And you will like never hit your target. So this is, the concentrated spells will correct that. And let me just go to the next area so I can have some enemies if I need to kill them. So, it's good. But if you have a wand that is that bad at accuracy, you're probably really not that far in the game. You know, the good wands are further down. The even better wands are over here. Um, or maybe you get actually decently good wand from killing that dragon over here. There's good wands you get from the forge, but a wand that bad you don't. You have bigger problems, I guess. But it also adds more damage to projectiles, more explosive damage to each shot. It does add 10 points of recoil. So if you have the Luminous Drill combo, you can never control that. You'll just be flown back, and so that is a significant downside to this. So when there are multiple spells are cast using a multi-cast, every spell gets affected by the invisible modifier. So that's good to know, that it just applies to every spell, and you get the damage plus. So you can read this as corrects deviation, does extra damage, and it has an increased cast delay. Now, it says, oh, it has an increased cast delay. That seems like a negative. The game doesn't. This is the in-game description here. If you look at actually the wiki, the increase in cast delay is 2 frames or 0.033 seconds. So this is almost nothing. I don't know. I don't know why that is significant enough. I guess if that matters and you're in like a hardcore mode or a new game plus 5 times, maybe that might make a difference. But it seems kind of silly to me. I don't know. Uh, so I would say this is a good spell, but it can be annoying the knockback, the recoil it has on it, and so that's where I'd put that. Um, Contact damage. That's what we call this one. I don't think I have this spell, do I? Uh, so many spells. I do have context. Repulsion fields. Yeah. So if I just, he's gonna kill himself, just staring at me. Gonna take a minute. If you prefer a pacifist route, it wasn't me that killed him. It was my contact damage perk. See this guy? He's kind of weak sauce. You're weak sauce. Oh, it's getting a little hairy here. I better get out of here. Psych, you're dead. I'm not shooting at all. You're dead. Oh, that actually hurt me there. Did it? No, I don't know. So yeah, that's contact damage. That's a little demonstration. Basically, and here are the stats of it. There's this formula. It does more damage the lower your health is, so it calculates that. And if you are at 25% health, you are going to do 228.75 damage per second, which is quite significant. And I guess it's counted as melee damage. So if you want to calculate for all the resistances on certain bosses, that's what you need to do. It does require you to get in their faces like that. So if you're worried about having low health, or you don't have enough immunities or protection, that could be a problem. But I think it's a great spell. It's good early game because you just run up in their face, and a lot of the guys that are melee that run in your face anyway, they just end up killing themselves. So I almost want to say it's an always take, but that'd be too hot. Too hot take. It's a quality of life. Like it's good. It doesn't win you the game. It's convenient, so it should go in this category. Yeah. This one. This is a good one. Is it a good one? Let's see. See, now it's out of order. It is called the Croclidike something. Uh, Cordyceps. It causes a friendly explosive mushroom creatures to spawn whenever a creature dies, regardless of whatever killed it. So if they kill themselves, if they're killed by the environment, or whatever, then there's these mushroom buddies that spawn. Do I have that one? No, that's okay. We'll consult the wiki for your convenience. No GIF or picture, but trust me that those mushroom people, where are they? Right here. One of these guys will spawn, and they'll be friendly to you. I don't know if the explosives actually hurt you. Yes, actually, fungal creatures explode on death, which can potentially damage a player without explosion immunity. So I would get explosion immunity first, and yeah, so it's gonna clear out the. It's basically for wave clearing. You can clear out a zone faster if they die, and then they could produce something that kills more people. So it's pretty good. It's you know, I'd say it needs some setup because you also want to be protected from the exploding mushroom people. So that's where I'd put that one. Crit plus. I mean, who doesn't like crit damage? That seems pretty simple. Self-explanatory. It's a passive perk that grants 10% increase to crit chance. And then you can. So I didn't explain this yet, but I have 3 shields, I think, or 2. So is that a healing drone? No, you can't hurt me, but you can hurt me. Anyway, so it's kind of hard for them to hurt me. This guy can hurt me. No, he can't hurt me because he's melee. I'm immune to melee. You suck. Um, so they have to break my shields to get to me, but because I have 2 shields, that's because I have 2. Uh, I have 2 levels of that perk. So you can actually get multiple of the same perk, and it stacks the benefits of it, and they all kind of work different ways. The stacking, but this one you get 120 stacks of crit plus, so you'd eventually have 128 percent, I guess, times 10. Uh, well, it would be a big number. You just crit all the time, man. That's pretty cool. Crit damage is increased further, like seeing 100% crit chance, and then we can see the breakdown of how crit chancing works in the game. You have all these different ways to do that. There's this formula that does this thing, and all these different examples, and then you combine everything that does crit chance and divide by 100, divide by 100, da, 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 da. It would do a lot of damage, and you can get really involved in the math if you feel like it. But basically, it's a good spell. They're a good perk. There's a spell with the same name, but this applies to everything. So it's like the close encounter, but it's better. So I would say you don't necessarily. It's not going to necessarily win you the game. It's not like an immunity. So I'll put it as quality of life. All right, dissolve powders. This one is I mean, as the name implies, you dissolve powders. So that would be soil, mud, sandstone, glass, wax, salt, snow, especially snow, sand. So this kind of comes in handy in the desert here. So underneath the pyramid, there's an orb room, which gives you a nice health bonus, and that's where the necromancy spell is. So there's kind of an annoying group of enemies all down here. So if you want to just avoid them, You can kind of hug the side here until you reach the bottom, and having the powder dissolve will make that go a little faster. So, I mean, that's that. I don't know why else you would want it. It's kind of silly. So over here in like the first area, there are these coal mounds. Um, so there might be a heart or a chest up here. So you can just kind of walk up there. This will all dissolve. So that makes exploring kind of easier in the beginning. So there's that. I would say you don't need that. It's not any game-breaking thing, so no. Eat your vegetables. That's what they say. Eat your vegetables. This one is interesting. So I got it my last God run, and it kind of screwed me up. I got it in a gamble perk, so I didn't really want it. But it changes the mechanic of the game by adding a hunger modifier. So you normally don't need to eat things, but now it adds a saturation, status. So if you are highly saturated, you will do more damage. Where does it say how much damage you do? Doesn't say how much damage you do. Here's the calculation. So if you're at this much saturation minus this, you know what? It just does more damage. But the downside makes it not worth it, despite the positive. Because once your saturation drops below 25%, you'll begin taking a little less than 1% of your max health as curse damage every second until you find something to eat. And the problem is things that you eat, like corpses and blood, can actually give you food poisoning and hurt you anyway. So the way around that is that it kind of balances it by giving you a hearty porridge potion that spawns with you, which does heal you a little bit. But when that runs out, you're eventually going to be screwed. And this actually has some anti-synergy with the corpse explosion perk, which I love. I love it when corpses explode. When I shoot them, people die and they explode. It's pretty cool. But then when their corpses explode, you don't have any corpse to eat. So I guess it's kind of like the cannibal perk in Fallout or something. So if that's how you want to play, that's a challenge, like a personal challenge. It could be fun. So it might be situational depending on the type of challenge you want to give yourself. So I would say otherwise you don't really need that. It's kind of, why would you want the extra challenge when the benefit doesn't outweigh the cost? And then we have electricity. So don't get confused by these two perks. They are vastly different. And it's up to you if they are worth it. So electricity, the first one here, gives you immunity to electricity. So what kind of enemies are there that do that? You have, first of all, you have this dude here. What's his name? Yeah, this guy does electricity. The Yuko does electricity. This guy's in the sky. He's pretty bad. And anyone can pick up a wand that might have electricity and kill you pretty fast. So electricity is a pretty big hazard. Electricity is also a problem in the Heisey base over here, Heisey base. All of these like conduits, these lights that come off the ground, these little shields, when they're destroyed, they have some static that does passive lightning damage to the environment. In this area especially, there's a bunch of traps that does lightning damage. Like there's those guys. So lightning is definitely, and lightning is one of the worst statuses because it stuns you for about a good 3 seconds on top of doing electrical on top of just doing damage. So that's good that you're immune to it, but the problem is you constantly electrocute liquids and metals. So by doing so, you can trick people into falling in water and then kill them, kill them here with your lightning that comes off you. But you also can trigger explosives and kill yourself because metals are conduits to electricity, and you're going to cause some chaos. So I have never had much luck with this perk. I've always killed myself with it. So I'm going to say it needs setup. You're going to need explosive immunity. You might want toxic immunity or all the immunities to protect yourselves from things that will pop around you. But it can give you a bunch of trick golds in the beginning if you're careful. And then you just have the 100% better version, just electric immunity. No downside, just you're immune to electricity. Although it doesn't affect the stun effect of the electricity, oddly enough. So very important to note actually here, if you get one and not the other, it will remove, if you get this one, electricity, it removes the electricity immunity from the perk deck, from the pool of possible perks. So you can only really pick one in your run until you can remove perks, and that's a whole complicated process. But so if you had to choose, get the electric immunity, so there's no downside. Unless you have all your immunities and you feel safe and you just want to clear the zone as quick as possible. So otherwise, no downside. That would be an always take for me. Detect enemy. So you have a series of perks here that are radar focused. Enemy radar. There's item radar and then wand radar. So it basically just has a pointer on your HUD that tells you where enemies are. So if the map is not revealed, that's great. I mean, my map is revealed because I have the all-seeing eye, but it also tells me there's a dude up there. There's a few guys over here. So if I wanted to avoid all these guys, I could. I'm not too worried. Let's see, anything up here? Oh, you guys are dead. That's that. Let's see what is this? I think I already saw that. Oh, can I get that? No. I don't think I need that stuff. So basically, that is enemy detection. It just detects enemies. Is it good? Yes, because if I am at 10% health, I could die in 2 or 3 hits. I want to avoid all the enemies I can and get to the holy mountain, get my heart, and move on. So knowing where enemies are gives you a huge advantage, especially if you're trying to stay alive or if you want to know where a particular enemy is. You can kind of tell from the movement what type of enemy it is. You can plan out what to do. And so no reason not to take this, in my opinion. And then we have exploding enemies. Exploding enemies. Enemies that just explode. Now, I think I can show you an example of this because I think it was already happening, but let's see. And here, explode, 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 explode. A lot of explosions. See, those guys pop into smaller guys, and that causes some explosions, so that's cool. Explode. There's somebody. Oh, he didn't explode. Oh, he exploded. All right. So you get the idea. They explode. Now, and when they do explode like that, you can see the gold pops and goes flying. So that can be a nuisance because you might want to collect the gold. I don't really care about golds. There's nothing I really need to buy. If I wanted to something, I could steal it from the shop. I could go to a gold biome and just do whatever. But if you are in a normal run and that is your thing, then I guess I've already been here, haven't I? Oops. Go back to the top. Do that later. So, yeah, that's the one downside. Um, and it makes you so it gives you explosion immunity and also helps clear zones. So it's actually, I think, better than just straight explosion immunity. No reason not to take it. Exploding gold, on the other hand, I mean, quite the opposite. I don't know why you'd want this one. It seems kind of silly. Um, Whenever a gold is picked up, gold nugget, not dust, is picked up by an enemy, by you, or it despawns, it will cause an explosion that destroys terrain, doesn't hurt you. Um, and you can pick up multiple of it, but strangely enough, it doesn't give you any additional benefits. So you might want to know that. And it could cause other explosions. Okay, I guess. Um, what is it good for? I don't know. Why do I need my gold to explode? It just seems silly. But it's funny. And so, like, I kill someone, and then his buddies all try to chase me, and they walk over the gold that just spilled, and then they die. So you could set up some traps that way, I guess. So it's better than nothing. I wouldn't absolutely reroll because that gets rid of the other two options. But that's that. Explosion immunity. Now, it is just straight up explosion immunity. You can still be affected by material generated, such as fire and the freezing vapor. That's important to know. So, if I shoot a TNT and I'm caught in the explosion radius, I will not take the explosion damage, but I will catch fire likely, right? So it's not 100% damage from the source you'll be protected from, but still, it's it's a way to stay alive from a particular damage type. Hearts, extra hearts, extra health. You increase your max health by 50%. So I have now you can't actually get infinite hearts if you get a crazy amount of health. The game just stops representing it, and you just have infinite health. So if you happen to come across 87 copies of this perk, that's kind of crazy. Um, but so like I had 400 health, and then I get one, and then I have 200 more, and then I go to 600, and then I get another one, and the other one gives me 50% of 600 is 300, and 300 plus 600 is 900, and so it keeps getting stacking higher and higher. It's pretty good. I don't know why you wouldn't want to get that. So I'm gonna say always get the health plus. Is this still me yapping? I'm not sure. Oh, I took one damage there? I took one damage. That's crazy. Alright, what is that? Apparently I've never been here. I don't need that. That is Do I really need another one of those? I don't think so. All right, so yeah, just always get more health. I don't know why you wouldn't want that. It gives you a way to be buffered from. You can take more shots. And I think it's better than the Hearts Plus, but we'll get to that. I guess maybe not. I'm not sure. That's way over here. So extra item. I mean, who doesn't want extra items in your shop? I kind of don't. I don't know. I mean, is it worth it over other spells, other perks? So normally there's like 5 options, 5 or 6 options, then it adds another option in the shop. That's all it does. So it's if you can get it early, if I get all the economies perks early, then they'll pay off because I'm going to go through each one of these and get another additional item, additional perk, and so on. So I will say that is better than nothing. Recoil? Recoil? Recoil. Uh, Extra knockback. That's what it is. Recoil is down here. Um, it's pretty simple. Your spells cause enemies to knock around much more than normal, which is good for keeping them away from you. But yeah, I don't know what else it does for you. It causes you to lose the gold because it flings them away from you really far, and then you have to go find their corpse where their gold is. Um, yeah, so it's saying that the minimum knockback value to cause an enemy to flinch is generally either 0 or quite large. This perk generally causes enemies that are already susceptible to knockback to be knocked back further, but not usually result in knocking back more enemy types. So it doesn't change the value that's needed to knock enemy back, just the knockback distance or power of existing enemies you can knock back. So that's kind of where I wish they had the formula. Like in Final Fall, I don't know what that means. What is the knockback value of every enemy? And I don't feel like looking that up because I just don't feel like getting that perk most of the time. So I'll put that under better than nothing. How about an extra life? That's good. I mean, if you're if you're good at the game, you don't die anyway. But if you do die, you would respawn with 100 health. 100 health of the health you have. You don't lose your health pool. And then you have 30 seconds of invulnerability to, get the heck out of there. You can stack these so you'll have, maybe 10 or 12 extra lives, so you might not die for a while. Um, and so yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't want an extra life, unless you're at the point where I am in the game, where I'm probably not going to die unless I'm trying something specific, or I'm in a dangerous area. There are dangerous areas still if I go to the sky zone or something. Oop. Oh, hey, it's a worm. What's he doing? Give me a heart. So yeah, I think you should always get an extra life, but it's not 100% necessary at certain points of the game. So it's a quality of life thing. Extra perk. Extra perk. This is a good spell. It gives you more perk options in the store. So yeah, I think if you get it early on the map here, it increases the odds of you getting an immunity or a key spell, key perk to backtrack and break the game. Because really the goal is to beat this boss here. and you need explosion immunity for him. You're gonna want a lot of hearts to tank some damage, and you'll probably want to have a good teleport wand to zip around. So anything that you can get that'll help you is good. So I would say this is situational. Where would I put this? Quality of life. It makes the store better. That's a quality of life thing for sure. Extra capacity. Yep, extra wand capacity. Essentially, you can add 1 to 3 extra slots to the wand in your inventory that you're holding right now. So not every wand is very important. You don't want to hold the wrong wand at the wrong time. So, I mean, if you don't know Noita and you're still watching this, you don't know what's happening. I have 26 wand spell slots in this wand, and if I rearrange the spells, it changes what it does. And that's how I'm able to do this. I'd like to put the chainsaw on this, so if I do that... Where is that? What is there? Never mind. I need 2 chainsaws, basically. So I can go faster and do this. Or do this, actually. There we go. Whee! That's how you make good spells. You just do what I'm doing. No, this is not a wand tutorial. But yeah, the more wands, the more spell slots, the better. I don't know what to tell you there. Okay, so yeah, it's good, but it's good early game because late game you can find the best wands anyway. You can go to the best wands in the game are actually right here. So there's this hidden area under the tower, or under the pyramid. Go over where this orb room is, and then just black hole. You're gonna need to tank some damage from the cursed rock area. And then inside this little capsule area are 3 specific wands that one's for speed, one's for explosives, and one for something else. And they all are like tier 10 wands. If you want some good wands, there's a good variety of wands over here. And this is a fairly safe area. You just have to deal with these mushroom people that explode. So as long as you keep your distance or you have explosion immunity, you're going to be fine. So that's my thoughts on that. So do I need this? I'd say it's situational. If you have a wand that you want to break, but it just needs just one more slot, then that's a situation in which you would need it. Okay. What the heck is this one? It is movement, faster levitation. Very important distinction. You have 2 spells. There's the blue one. Where's the blue one? Strong levitation and fast levitation. They sound similar, but they're not the same. So faster levitation increases the speed of your levitation by 75%. And increases the falling speed by 40%, but it does not increase the length of time in which you levitate. So do I have that? I don't think I do. So is that good? Well, you want to stay in the air longer, and you want to navigate in the air better, so that you can avoid bosses or certain enemies, and you can survive long, obviously. Hold on a minute. And... oh dear. Sorry, buddy, I don't want to fight you. Forgot he's there. And hyperspeed engage! Ah! So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So do I? I think these both are similar enough that they work in conjunction. You want to levitate faster. You want to levitate longer to kite around enemies and bosses. But if you're not even gonna fight bosses, that's not your goal. You just want to finish the game, or you want to get certain orbs, or certain spells, do a certain quest. Then it's not needed. So I'd say depends on your situation. The second one here, similar looking but not, is stronger or faster movements. As the name implies, you will walk faster by about 40%. And this is one you can stack. I don't know why this is a thing, but if you have 16 copies, you can freeze yourself in midair if you hold your mouse key in one direction. That sounds very silly. You can kind of like break your game like that. If you have 36 copies, just about double that, you can get from one end of the world to the other end in one press of the button. You can go super fast. And I think that's kind of silly. Now it only affects your movement on the ground. And I'm not on the ground very often, so I'm doing this. And I wish I could do this. What I want to do here, actually, by the way, I'll tell you. Come on, game. I want to put the ground to sand in this one, but I do need more slots. And then I'd have to put another Greek letter, but that'll slow it down way too much. So I need a faster one. And then that means whenever I hit something, it's going to turn into sand. Try to do that here. Yeah, so that should break up things as I jump into it. So in my opinion, do I need to walk on the ground where I can do this? Nah, man, that's crazy. Why would I want to walk on the ground when my throne is in the air, you know? And see what the next perks is while we're here. Ooh, I do want stainless armor, but I'll explain these in a minute. So no, it's not. It's better than nothing. But I would rather have the stronger levitation, faster levitation. But faster spells. Now hold on a minute. Faster projectiles. So there's a spell of the same name that makes your projectiles shoot faster, and when they shoot faster, they are shooting they get more momentum, so they have a longer distance in which they will travel. So for black hole, I have accelerating shot, which increases the speed by 0.32, but I also have another perk that does something like that. What's it called? Yeah, this one. It basically reflects spells, so it'll actually kind of reflect um, my own spells like that. I think that's what's doing it anyway. Oh my gosh, no, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, watch out for lava. That's a thing that happens in the game. But anyway, before we kill ourselves, um, yeah, so that makes your black holes move faster here. And if you stack a bunch of them in one multicast, they all get affected and they all kind of stack together like that. So you want black holes that go further, so you can consume less of them in one go. So yeah, you should always, and plus if I just have it on a regular spark bolt, I'm gonna do damage from further away, and that's safer. So that is a good quality of life improvement for the game. How about the next one that is faster ones? Faster is better sometimes. Like I do want it on my teleport, because I mean, faster is better when you're teleporting. Uh, but it can kind of break wands if they go too fast and you don't have a mana to back it up. So you need to like combine that with the mana one over here. So it's situational, obviously. Let's see if it tells us the math on it. Uh, yeah, by 20% plus 5 frames, rounded towards the nearest zero. So it just makes him go faster. It actually affects all wands, not just the ones not just the one in your hand at the time. That's good to know. Feared by worms. Sounds good. You saw the big worm I killed in the snow biome there. He's not that scary. He's pretty easy to avoid. But the problem with worms is that they can dig through the holy mountain area, and they will piss off the gods, and then they will try to kill you. The Steve, the shopkeeper guy. So like that worm, let's say he was down here where we were. He's kind of swimming around. He might go up here. This crystal tends to keep him away, but it's not perfect. And especially over here in the jungle, you have the Lukis. These little spider guys. They can break through material and they will climb all the way through the brickwork. And if you're not prepared to take on Steve, then it could be a problem. So what this does is prevents the gods from being angered by worms that would destroy the brickwork. Well, no, it just prevents. It also they will no longer destroy the terrain when burying, so they don't make those holes to begin with. But also means that you don't have a way to naturally, get out of the holy mountain. So if you didn't have a black hole and you were struggling, you could kind of rely on chance for that. You could maybe lure one of the spiders over here and kind of like shift your way with a teleport to get them to dig through there, if you really wanted to, I guess. Otherwise, it's not that impressive. I'm not scared of worms myself, so I would probably just skip this. Fire immunity, it just straight up makes you immune to fire, which is good for explosive because remember you can still be caught on fire from explosives, so these kind of pair together. We'll just put these together here. Freezing shots. What do I say about that one? So it's actually a good example here with the lava. There's a lot of lava falling down. I'm kind of upset about that. Not that it could kill me. I'd have to just chill in it. But it's kind of annoying. I have to just sit here and wait for it all to fall. But if I had freezing shot, all liquids and lava around me would evaporate, or no, they would freeze. That's why it's called freezing. What is it called? Freezing field. So it extinguishes fire. So it gives fire immunity. It's like 2 perks in one. And it also freezes. It's the only way to truly be immune to lava. Besides, I guess, dumping water on it manually. But the problem is, it affects all these things. It does that. If I were to bleed because someone shot me, my blood would splurt up. Or if I shot someone else, like one of those spiders, or any other creature that bleeds a lot, all that blood as I move towards it would freeze in the air, and you could get caught in that, and you could suffocate. you could it could just be like 1 pixel that like locks your character, and you'll just die from you know shock of not knowing what happened, or enemies around you will shoot you. It's kind of annoying getting stuck in the ice or stuck in second blood like that. So I tend to avoid this, even though it's pretty good. If you just want to finish the game, first of all, if you want to get all the perks, all the orbs, I would recommend it just to get down here because this is kind of annoying to um, freeze this with a spell or try to like drain it out somehow. 'Cause to get to the hell region down here, to get this last orb, that's what you got to do. Um, yeah, you could use a lava to blood, or you could turn the lava into something else with the chaotic transmutation. I don't know. It's just annoying. But otherwise, there's not really a need for it. Just avoid lava, and you can just get fire perk eventually. And you do actually want liquids, believe it or not. There's a lot of liquids over here. If you go to the alchemist layer place up here, you have pheromone, you have berserkium, there's ambrosia, right? You want all these liquids. This is kind of like where you go to get liquids, but you can't actually collect any of them because they all freeze. Um, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. What does it freeze? Water, chili, water, swamp. Oh, it doesn't actually change the. I guess magical liquids aren't affected. But still, the fact that I get stuck in the ice and stuck in the stuff, it's just too annoying. So I'm gonna say it's good, but it's annoying. Makes sense. And then we have fungal colony. We're almost done, I think, right? Halfway there. Fungal colony is good. Basically, when there's slime, slime spawns mushroom people. Pretty simple. Do I have a way to do that? Show me the slime people. Oh, there's one. No? Yeah, there we go. And they're friendly. They do explode, so if they see an enemy. Oh man, rat's got that guy. Um, so is it good? I mean, I guess it's the you have some little helpers. Um, yeah, so I would say you don't really need it. Um, it's kind of like I guess it's a quality of life thing. I mean, they're little buddies that help you. Uh, you do need explosion immunity, right? Um, yeah, some form of explosion immunity is recommended. So there you go. Maybe I guess well, annoying because yeah, annoying because they do explode, and if you don't have explosion immunity, then you're kind of hurting yourself in the end. Fungal disease. That's a fun one. It's not that impressive. Like if I'm close to an enemy or close to danger, it releases these fungal spores that do minimal damage. Um, it's just like a finisher, I guess. I think the idea really is that if I'm if there's somebody behind the wall, or if I'm in a dark area, it's kind of like a way to see if enemies are nearby. But I've never found much good use for it, so I will say it's better than nothing. And then we have Gamble. We did that one. Gas blood. Gassy blood. Um, I mean, you bleed gas, so that's cool. So it makes you immune to toxic. I didn't even know that. That's not even a thing that I notice when I get this perk. Um, so it does actually apparently lowers your gravity, so I guess you have a higher jump. I've not noticed that either. So I'm trying to think of how to rate this. So it actually is good for one synergy here. I'll show you. Actually, it's right here, the stainless armor, which I can pick up now. Stainless armor says that you will have 50% less damage, not projectile damage, not certain elemental damage, just all damage, even curse damage. 50% less as long as your character has no active stains. So you're not, you didn't walk in water, you don't have blood on you or um, slime or anything. And this actually stacks. So, but it stacks at a value of what is this? Continue. It will continue to have the damage received from all sources for each instance. So damage divided by 2 each time. So let's say one projectile does 50 damage to me. If I have one stack of this, it actually does 25. Then half of 25 is 12.5, and then 6.25, and then 3.75, something like that. Keeps going lower and lower the more stacks I have. And it's saying here that if I have 7 or more instances of this, then damage dealt from the touch of spells, which is always the highest. I don't know what that ad is. The highest. Oh, whoops. I think the browser crashed there. It does the highest. It just straight up kills you. Pretty much a touch of uh equal to 100 times the current HP of the target as curse damage. So it just churns like touch of gold churns whatever it touches into gold, whatever material touches. Um, but with 7 stacks of stainless armor, it reduces all of that so it can no longer die as long as you remain stainless. So I say all that to say that if your blood is replaced with gas, you cannot stain yourself with damage. Because if you get hit by something, you're going to bleed, and typically you will bleed on yourself. So that's kind of a synergy there. That's kind of the only reason it's good to combo with that. So it's good, but it's situational if you happen to have the opportunity to get stainless armor. Stainless armor is S tier. You always want that. Because anytime you can reduce your damage, all damage by 50%, that's amazing. Like most of these are projectile damage it reduces. But all damage is kind of insane. So if you want to go for a build that is all damage immunity, you need to pair these together. So that's what you would do. And so, on that note, before I wander too far off here, see my file is really big now. Apparently, it's over 100 megs. What am I gonna do? Oh, there's one of those. Can stand on that. And then I think. Did I pick it up already? I was talking, but I did not. Oh, then we'll get the next one. We'll get the next one. And I'll explain how I did that in a minute. I probably want this too, don't I? Yeah, long distance cast on my this. Moving on. Um, me killing more mana in that spell, I think. But what's for sale real fast? Nothing good, nothing good, nothing good. Anyway, um, what was I saying? Oh, next spell is next perk. Gas fire. So all gases near you will immediately ignite and dissipate. So I was confused when I first started playing this game because the wording is kind of confusing. Gases ignite near you automatically. It sounds bad because like, oh, it's gonna catch fire, so you'll catch fire too. But it says you're not likely to catch fire as a direct result of gas ignition. Um, so teleporting to a gas fire into gas clouds will likely cause you to catch fire. I don't. It sounds like a contradiction. I don't know what that means, but I've never caught fire from this perk, so I think I have it right here. I'll show you an example here. So there's those gas canisters on the map. What are they? Here's an example here. So see that gas? It's evaporating as I walk to it. So by ignite, I guess it really means like just dissipates, and none of that chill air or whatever will hurt me. Um, it doesn't dissipate like instantly, like 1 frame, so I could take like 1 damage from it, which is possibly important, I guess. Whee. Good timing. Sometimes I misjudge where it is. Okay, let's see. So I would say that's good for, that's the only way you can be really protected um from the I don't know, what do you call that? The ice vapors? I think it's called ice vapors. So it's a quality of life improvement. It does have a significant downside. It says here that when navigating the cloudscape, this perk may be difficult because the cloud material, although static, you can like land on the cloud, and that's where the high value shops are. It's actually a gas, so it fades away. So let me show you here what I mean by that. So this is the worlds, but if you go up, as below, so is above, we have these clouds. And these clouds, you'll just like fall through. You can't actually like stand on them with that perk on. So you'd have to very carefully, maybe you can, on these red, these are, I don't know if that's also a cloud. So yeah, I'm not sure how you'd navigate up here because up here, maybe not this area, but over here, there's a pretty nice, I think there's a shop. There's not a shop over here? Well, usually there's a shop. These are really scary monsters anyway. These guys bleed polyethylene, the polymorph, liquid. So I don't recommend fighting those guys. Yeah, here we are. Nope, that's just some text. So anyway, so that makes that difficult. So it's overall good except for that. Glass cannon. Now, what do we think of Glass Cannon, everyone? That's a tricky one to rank, because what it do is you become a Glass Cannon. Uh, your health is capped at 50 and cannot be improved normally. Um, Spells that can very easily kill you without some explosion immunity. Okay, duh. However, you deal 5 times the damage and have larger blast radius with explosives. So it sounds pretty bad, but there are some exceptions here. Um, you can actually heal yourself. Max health can be increased with extra max health, which is the other perk we talked about over here. Increases your max health by 50%. So that's not a normal means, I guess. It's a perk. So you're at 50, and half of 50 is 25. You go to 75. And then it also, I believe, counts um, the orb hearts. So these ones, oh, it's normally an orb there. Come on. Over here, yeah. So these give you 50 health instead of 25, I think. So that is a way around increasing your health. Uh, I typically don't mess with this though. You can kind of, I guess, take it as a challenge. You can actually stack this 2 times. So you do 2 squared times 3 squared for a total bonus of 225 times on hit damage. I don't know how it comes up with that number, just based on this description here, but that seems pretty crazy. Um, I mean, if you really like this challenge, I think it's good for a challenge run, but it is a gamble because you could die in one hit if you're not careful. Like all that lava there, if I took one, dip in that lava, I would definitely be dead with 50 health. So that's no good. No bueno. Gold is forever. As the name might imply, I've said that quite a few times here, gold no longer disappears, gold nuggets. It's incredibly valuable. I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's good because if you have a lot of ways to kill enemies off screen, a lot of chaos and explosions, the gold might despawn by the time you get to it. So this can save you a bit of gold. Thing is, at a certain point in the game, money doesn't matter, and I can get as much money as I might need anyway. But it's pretty good in the beginning part of the game, so I can, um, get set up. So that one. This one's pretty similar. Greed, amazing to get in the beginning, in the first zone, because it doubles the amount of gold for each nugget. So one nugget typically gives 10 gold. One basic nugget, so for the basic enemy. And as they get bigger, for different types of enemies, they might drop this one or that one. But this doubles it to 20. And if I had another stack, it doubles that double. And so it exponentially gets more gold. And so eventually you can break the game so it just no longer represents it. And you can have, you never have to worry about buying things. The game just doesn't know how to represent that value. Um, and I think you can do that after only 28. So not even that long. That would be maybe like a week of doing what I'm doing, just journeying through the parallel worlds. Um, so hey, if that's your thing, you like gold, um, it's great in the beginning. Again, not that needed towards the end of the game, towards the point where I at. So Explore, is that what we call this? Explore something? Healthy exploration. Pretty good. Gives you 60 health, which is a decent amount in the beginning. You know, you start the game with 100 health, so um, and when you visit a new biome, so a biome is this area. It is this area. It's this area. It's this area. This area. This area. So normally, as you go down the dungeon, it's kind of linear. So you're not gonna find many opportunities to heal because as you go to here, you already have a full heal, so you don't need more healing in the next area. So it kind of encourages you to peek your head into new areas. Like if I was low on health, I want to keep exploring this area, I would just kind of like slide over here and slide back out, and I just got 60 health. So that's pretty good. And this is actually an area, and this is actually an area. So if you're feeling even bolder, you can maybe kill 2 of these guys and sneak in and sneak to the next area and sneak out. And you just made 180 health. And I think what's kind of cool about it is if you go to the surface, you have the desert, the pyramid, the tower. If you dig a little bit, you get to the mushroom area. You have whatever the heck this little area is here. And those 4 areas are not really that dangerous. There might be a few enemies on the surface. You might catch a mushroom over here or something. I don't know. But you're not going to have any trouble healing. So that's good. I always take free healing in the beginning. In late game, you are going to have a healing spell that you're going to be able to duplicate and take advantage of. But early game, where you're just trying to finish the game in a basic run, it's pretty good. So I would give it a quality of life because it's good and there's no downside to it, but it's not 100% needed in every run. So yeah, add mana. Is that what we call that? Yeah, high mana, low capacity. This one clearly has a downside because it increases the loses half the capacity but gains more mana. So how much mana are we talking about? Quite a bit actually, 100 to 600 more mana. And I guess if it was some crazy one, you got like if you got like 100 of these on one wand, it might reach this. That'd be kind of crazy. Um, I would prefer this over the speed one, but it loses half the slots. So that would be kind of crazy. That would ruin every wand I have here, except this one. I don't really need all these slots on this one. I don't really like any of these, but I guess I'll get that. Anyway. Oh. What's our next one? Oh, nice. Blood money. So essentially, I would say this is a great perk for basically optimizing the best wand because you can actually reduce the slots and then increase the slots later with this one and make those slots back if you can combine those. If you're patient enough and can find these. So this is probably the best of all the wand edit ones. So I would give it situational. Let's put these together here. Homing, self-explanatory. It makes your spells home, but it applies it to every spell. So my black holes were destroying the environment, but I don't want it to trail off and chase some random enemy behind me, which it would do with this perk.
I don't want my healing spells to hit anyone but me, obviously. And I don't want my teleport bolt to drag me where I don't want to go. So it has that disadvantage. Um, it also might hit the wrong enemy. I can't control what it homes at. It just shoots the closest enemy and not the enemy I necessarily want to hit. Especially if I'm fighting a boss, I want to hit the boss and focus him, not his little minions. Or if you're fighting the Master of Masters, you don't want to hit the Death Orb. So if that's a permanent perk, you can't control that. So that's kind of a gamble. Because if you're just trying to beat the game, I guess it's okay. But otherwise, nah, I don't typically get that one. I'd prefer to get the homing spell that I could add to a particular spell combo. Like this one, I have short homing and then short homing on that. So it'll definitely hit the target. It's- I don't know why you guys are chasing me. They're not really this aggressive. Come on, guys. Let's look at that one. That one. And what's for sale? What's for sale? Nothing, nothing, nothing. That's actually a pretty good spell. That could make infinites, so sure. Wow. So what just happened there? I shot that guy, and then he bled slime, and that generated all those mushroom people that caused giant explosions and made my screen turn purple. Let's kill that worm guy real fast. So the worm guy actually spawns in every... He's one of the few bosses that just will always be there in every parallel universe. Um, I guess he's like Thanos. He's just... I've seen every outcome, and I'm... whatever. So we just pop his egg and then pop him. And he's supposed to drop a heart. Here we go. So, where were we? Homunculi. I think that's how you say it. If there's more than one, it's a homunculi. Homunculus. Um, well, it gives you one to start, so... And every time you enter a new one, a new holy mountain, the homunculus, a new one will spawn. And there are some negatives to him. And that would be if you are transformed into a sheep. If you have been polymorphed, the homunculi will view you as a hostile enemy and kill you. I don't know why. Like, why are they aggressive to sheep? That doesn't make sense, right? They're just some crazy people. But yeah, it's an amalgamation of, flesh or something. What is that what a homunculus is? I don't know. But they're little helpers. I don't have one on me to demonstrate, but they follow you along and they shoot random projectiles at enemies. Also, kind of a bad thing is if you have invisibility, they are not invisible, so they will still attack enemies, and that might blow your cover because the enemies will turn and shoot them, and they might shoot you instead. So they're not very subtle. So I think they're pretty fun to use. Um, I've had them actually kill me quite a few times because they shoot explosives. They're not very accurate sometimes. So I would say they're kind of a gamble, if I'm being honest. Uh, let me take a break here, and the exit should be right over here. Okay. We talked about that one. That's the extra perks. So that's good. Extra life. Why not? That one, very bad. Let's talk about that one next. Teleportius. Teleportius. Uh, F tier. Just skip it. What does it do? What it do? What it do? Um, if you would be that causes you, so if you would, it's a defensive perk that causes you to teleport to a nearby location whenever you take damage. It is a random location on the map. Um, I don't know why. Like, it seems bad. You could teleport into lava. You could teleport into acid. You could teleport. I think it's like it has a range. It doesn't tell you here, but um, it's not going to teleport you to too far. But it does say here there is a chance to get teleported to the next biome, meaning you would skip the Holy Mountain. You would skip the chance to edit wands. You would skip the chance to shop. Um, that's pretty bad. It can be useful to avoid plasma beams and Giga Black Hole, so that's one benefit. Um, yeah, but I don't like being teleported randomly where I don't want to be, so that's bad. How about the friendly ghost, Casper? His name's not Casper. He's the hungry ghost, actually. This little guy is funny and lovable. He's got a cute smile. Um, so it summons a green little ghost to follow you around, and he will eat projectiles shot towards you every once in a while, and give you a small bonus um, to your damage. That's kind of weird though. With each shot eaten, providing you with a bonus damage bonus temporary status. It doesn't tell you that in the description, in the in-game description. So I don't know how you would know that. So, good to know, I guess. Um, and this tells you a little bit about the damage bonus and this crazy formula to figure out the damage bonus. Um, so if I'm using a teleport healing wand in the middle of an intense fight, the ghost gets supercharged, eating a rich number of projectiles, or we intentionally use something like Magic Guard. All the stacks of damage bonus will be applied to the healing spell. Ooh. Yeah, so healing, I'll show you here, you see it says -9 damage healing. So, in other words, it heals you for 9 damage, right? Um, but if I add damage plus to this, it adds +10 damage, which means then it does 1 positive damage. So it actually damages you then. So you don't want to add damage plus any damage modifiers to healing bolts. I don't think that applies to this. So it does. So yeah, not on that either. What are you guys looking at? So what it's saying here is if I had a giant healing circle and my little guys ate all that, so does that exist? I don't know what it's talking about. I don't see that. They don't. I guess they can't eat my aura, but they can eat my projectile bolts. This is a static projectile. Well, this this. Hmm. He might eat it. Come on, game. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's outdated information. But I don't see a downside to these guys, so I think they're great. I think that you should get them every time, in my opinion. Invisibility. What do we think of invisibility? I think it's great. It's great early game, so I can avoid um, certain areas and I can get to different orbs and things. Where is it? Right here. So you are invisible as long as you have not fired your wand, kicked, taken damage, or have any stains on you. So quite a few conditions. But a significant thing that it doesn't tell you is that you do not break invisibility by throwing objects. So if you have the tablet in the beginning, you can just throw the tablet at people and get some easy trick kills. And you have time to line up your shot because they don't see you. Another benefit of invisibility is you can walk across the bridge. Normally, if you cross this bridge, as you may know, you'll spawn the Squidward boss, the little connoisseur, and he's one of the deadliest bosses in the game because he has some random attacks he does. He can randomly polymorph you. The game, I think, intends you to fight down here. You have this big open area to kite around him. Uh, but if you are invisible, you don't trigger him if you cross this area for some reason. I guess the game. So what's interesting is if you're in the shop, and you cross right here while invisible, it does trigger the collapse of the temple. So I guess the gods see you over here, but they don't see you over here. So I think there needs to be some lore explanation for that. But that's a free perk in the beginning if you have invisibility. You can, and then you can loop back like that. You can also use it to go sneakily through here if you want. And just in general, you can sneak to the end of the zone if you're low on health. And that's good. Now, to get all the way to the bottom here, where there happens to be another orb, that's a lot of sneaking. You could do it. You just have to avoid all this water here. It's kind of a huge maze to get out of here. But that's an idea too. So I would say invisibility is situational. It's good in the beginning when you want that extra stuff, you want those extra kills with the tablet. And after that point, it's like, I don't really care. I want to kill things because it's fun. Saturation, or what do we call this spell? Iron Stomach. I think that it makes you have an iron stomach. So you no longer take damage. You no longer get like negatively affected by eating, by overeating, having 200% saturation of food, or eating things like poison, fulmination, polymorph, chaotic polymorphine. Uh, It actually extends so far as you can drink lava without getting hurt or set on fire, assuming you're not standing in it. I don't know why you would do that. What's the benefit of drinking lava? That seems silly. This is, I guess, only good combined with the eat your vegetables perk because then you want to be oversaturated at 200%, so then you're not going to be below the 40%. I think it is 40% we said. 25%, I'm sorry. If you drop below 25%, remember you take 0.7% of your max HP every second. You don't want that to happen, so you want to oversaturate. And if you oversaturate, though, you'll vomit and you will have some negative effects. You'll start, I think you take poison damage. So this prevents that. So it's kind of a synergy with that. I've never taken it. I mean, I think, I've taken it just to see what it do in the very beginning of my life and playing this game, but I don't know the points, being honest. I guess the added challenge. So the added challenge would be I'm doing a eat your vegetables run with a glass cannon run and only doing damage with contact, right? If that's your challenge to yourself, you could do that, I guess. But you know, do what you got to do. And next up, we have item finder. Just like the enemy finder or enemy radar, it finds you items, which includes hearts, and chest and potion bottles and things like that. So it can be good for farming hearts. So I would say that is overall good. Quality of life improvement. Mana kills. Is that what that's called? Kills to mana. If you get a kill, you regenerate some mana. So it allows you to rapid fire your wands better. Um, it gives you the direct buff, doesn't have any liquid associated with it, so it's not going to affect stainless armor. Um, I guess it's cool, you know. Um, I usually kill things so fast at this point in the game that I don't care about running out of mana, and I would rather just put a mana orb, add mana spell on it anyway, so it's a permanent fix. Um, I don't have to worry about wasting a perk selection, so it's better than nothing, you know. Leggy, leggy. Uh, that one is right here. Leggy mutation is kind of silly. It does this. So you'll find this chest. That does give you a picture of it. So you can find a picture of it. Uh, Leggy Perk Noita. This is the other wiki, right? Nope. The fandom is different than the wiki, apparently. Yeah, this guy. It's a mimic, but it could be a mimic with legs. And if you kill it, then you get the leggy mutation. And if you get the leggy mutation, then it does the same thing as the Muki mutation. This website has too many ads. Except it is worse because I can show you that one here. Mutation. The Luki mutation turns you into a spider basically. And this guy's invisible, but it you can't. I guess you don't touch the ground. I'm not sure if you touch lava like this. Um, it looks pretty silly. Um, and it makes for very weird interactions with like teleport and things because your legs never leave the ground like that. See this? Very, very silly. And the leg one just gives you like human legs that are giant, um, and have actually less vertical movement. So they're both bad. I don't know why you want them unless you like added challenges of the game. I'm gonna go ahead and say that you should not get it. Pass on that, and the other one pass on that. You could actually get it in the random perk, so just remember that you probably don't want that option. I don't think this one can get from the store, so that might be excluded from the gamble. But that would be a bad gamble if you had that option. Levitation something. This is called. Here we are. Levitation trail. So as you levitate, you leave this trail of particles that damage people as they walk by. It does 3 damage a second. Well, it does. I don't know if it's per second or just 3 damage, but it's not that great. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It expires after 5 seconds. Doesn't last very long. And actually, what's kind of awkward is it can break your own shields. I haven't really seen it happen here. I have it here. I think it's because in this case I have the repulsion shield on me. So it's repulsing that, but it's also repulsing all the spells and damage that comes off me. So that's something that happens, you know? Let's get to the next area. What's over here? Nothing I care about. Whoa. Yeah, but if I didn't have that, I'm pretty sure it would break my shield, and then that would make me sad. I'm not being very thorough in exploring, so I'm trying to do a video here. What do we have? Add mana, that. Oh, here we get teleport. That's cool. I get invisibility, I mean. So I would give this better than nothing. I mean, it does some damage, not enough to be significant, and it doesn't last very long. It's kind of a cool aesthetic effect, I guess. So you might want to pass on it, either here or there. I would say maybe early game, you can kind of leave a trail and float around. It might kill a lot of the early guys pretty good, I guess, but that's that. Uh, Living on the Edge. This one combos pretty well with the other one. Um, well, not really, I guess. Glass Cannon only functions if it's the first or second position in the chain. So all your spells do 3 times the damage if you are under 25 health or 25% of your maximum health. So if you intentionally not heal, like I could do that right here actually. If I chose to stand in lava until I was at about 100 health, I think that would be silly. I could do that. Oh, why would I do that? I don't know. There's not any boss I need to kill with 3 times as much damage. I can kill pretty much anything if I build, the right one. Um, so yeah, so this is telling me that there are certain. It applies the all the stacks of the damage from different sources and different levels. Kind of like in Magic, there's um, whatever enters the battlefield first gives a blanket effect, and the next thing overrides or adds on top of that. So that's how you do the math. So here, if I have Glass Cannon, it would apply if it's the first or the second position in the perks that I've gotten. And then it goes Living on the Edge if it's first, second, or third in the chain, and then Berserkium, and then Circle of Fever, and yeah. And this is what it recommends. But you know what? This is just like a no-brainer take anyway, because if I happen to be low health, I'm gonna do more damage. If I want to intentionally live on the edge with low health, I'm gonna do enough damage to kill anything anyway. So either way, I just do a lot of damage. And apparently I can stack those 128 times to do a lot of damage. So let's go ahead and put that. Maybe good but annoying. You could die with it. You could heal with it and just, not use it, I guess. So it's kind of like a better living on Glass Cannon. Because Glass Cannon permanent for 5 times, or maybe you happen to be low health and you do 3 times as much damage. Not as bad. Okay, how about low recoil? This one makes sense. I mean, reduces the recoil of your spells. This one you would want to pair with the other one, Concentrated Spells, which remember adds the 10 recoil, which is the same as 1 damage plus. So this would totally negate that. It doesn't tell you the value. It just says, oh, it reduces the recoil. So it reduces it by half minus 16, which feels kind of random, but I don't know why it chose 16. And it reduces your speed of your spells by 20%. So, you know, if you really feel that you are, if you have a crazy chainsaw that you can't control, or you have too many stacks of this, you can balance it out with that, I guess. I think I did just pick it up, but I probably should have passed on it. Your Lukey minion. I love the Lukey minion. This guy is so cute, and he is better than the homunculi. So, he follows you along, and he's a little buddy, but significant for him, he doesn't do projectile damage like the homunculi do. He will, what does it say? Do 7 frames of melee damage, or 5 melee damage for every 7 frames, or that's about 42.9 damage per second. He, it's kind of hard for him to aggro. You can't really force him to target a certain enemy. You kind of float around them, and eventually he'll target it. But what is kind of cool is that he can attack enemies through walls because he's like a little spider guy. He just slips through the wall, so you can kind of sneak around and have him kill things for you before you get to them. And so, because he's actually does melee damage, he's not going to trigger them to fight back. I don't think so. That won't typically break your cause them to attack you. And he's actually pretty good for killing Steve over here. Steve will spawn over here if you piss off the shopkeeper here. And if you stand about here, he's going to pace back and forth, and eventually your Lukey will hit him, will go through the wall and attack him, and then he'll just die, and he won't have any idea you were there. So if you need a way to kill the boss here, that's a good way to do that. So I think he's great. I think he's a quality of life improvement to your playthrough. Melee immunity. It's probably the weakest of the immunities because there are not a ton of enemies that do melee damage, in my opinion. Just sometimes wrong. You have all the worms. You have... we'll have these guys here. I'll show you. Whoop. That was kind of scary. That guy polymorphs. Whoopsie. Oh, that's a rat. Where are those spider-looking mutants? Probably use my actual damaging one here. There are these guys. These guys, the smaller version, do melee damage. So it's kind of useful for those guys. You can just have them troll. This guy does melee damage. He can't hurt me. Although my Lukey buddy is... Ah! I'm safe. I thought I might drop in lava there or something, but... There you can actually drop those crystals.
Anyway, a lot of chaos happening. You get the idea. That guy, well, if you collide with enemy, I guess it's melee damage. So rats are also melee damage. These guys are melee damage at the beginning. I don't know. These guys are all melee damage. So maybe like 20% of the enemies in the game do melee damage. Not that big a deal, in my opinion. The final phase of the Master does melee damage. So it's the weakest of the immunities, but you might as well get it. Because why not, you know? Moon radar, it tells you where the moon is. That's what it do. And this one is another unique one that is not found in the shop, but it is found if you go to the far edge of the main universe area. Stick to the edge and just hug it till you get to the bottom here, and it's in this little capsule area here. The purpose of it is the moon is over here, and the moon is made of cheese. But if you bring different elements to it, there is a secret inside the moon, and you can get some secret spell. And yeah, that's the only reason. So I think the moon only comes out at night. I'm not sure, but I haven't done that one yet. But if you want to know where the moon is, that's what you do. You get the moon perk. So I guess it's better than nothing. Blood, blood, blood. Is that what we call this? It's more blood. But over here, it's called blood, blood, blood. No, it's just called more blood. I don't know why. I think the game calls it that. Yeah, more blood. Blood, blood, blood is the description. Well, anyway, so it increases the over amount of blood in non-blood, other blood material of all entities, including you, and certain props when they bleed damage. It affects extends to all kinds of uncommon, like blown dust from Steve, worm blood, lava from who's this guy? Who's this guy? Oh, that guy. Okay. So why do you want enemies to bleed more? I mean, I guess it looks cool. It also is good for vampirism, which we'll get to. Vampirism allows you to recover health by drinking blood, but only blood, and not what other people bleed. So very important. It says more blood, but it actually affects more bleeding. So some people bleed acid, some people bleed lava, some people bleed worm blood. You can't drink that for vampirism. So if I think about it, actually, like what are the human or humanoid characters? I think it's only this category outside of these tanks. These are the only ones that'll bleed, and then you have, I guess, the frog bleeds. Those guys bleed. Rats bleed. These guys bleed lava. Um, so I think most of the wizards bleed blood. So you're not gonna have a ton of options where it's gonna be useful. Um, and actually, if you're combining this with the what's it called? The cloak, not the cloak, but the stainless armor. You don't want to bleed, so you don't want there to be liquids on the map, so it's kind of bad. So I'm gonna say situational, I guess, because maybe if you have vampirism, vampirism is kind of annoying. We'll get to that at the end here. But moving on, we have more anger or more hatred. Enemies are more hostile to each other. So there's a lot more infighting, which means that the zone will be cleared by the time before you even get to it, potentially. Which would actually mean that a lot of the gold will despawn.
by the time you get to it. And a lot of the hazards will go off, these explosives, magical liquids will be all over the place. Um, I have had something funny happen, though. You did see that before the game has some bosses hidden in the terrain to mess with you. I actually had two of these guys one time like fight each other. This guy fought that guy, and then I just finished off the last one, the one that the winner. So that was a funny thing that happened one time. Um, but I wouldn't expect that to be a normal experience. So this is, um, I, I'd say it needs setup. No, I'd say it's a gamble because you lose money and um, yeah, I don't know. The better one is the more friend, more love, which means basically, um, creatures of the world are more friendly to each other. This is again a deceptive or misleading description because it increases the relations values for all enemy factions, making enemies less likely to attack each other as well as you. So that's actually like the true thing that it does. Um, so they all have a hidden. Every faction has a hidden aggression value, and this will lower that value. So if you have just one of these, it'll make rats passive. So rats have a low aggression value to begin with. If you have, now get this. Let's see. At 4 stacks of more love, your relation to each faction will be over 100, causing almost every creature to become neutral. Neutral healers and other supports, such as I think that's the drone, will actively help you by applying their buffs and healing effects. Oh no, this guy. Um, so that's good. Um, 4 is not a lot for going through parallel dimensions. Um, and actually applies to homunculi. So that's kind of weird. Homunculi are like their own faction in the game, even though they're a perk pet. So if you lower that, they will be neutral, which means they won't attack anything. They'll just kind of sit there. Doesn't affect bosses. Obviously, that would be too powerful. So this is way good. I think you should definitely get this because if I have just one, rats are neutral. I don't know how you'd have to like go to the uh, the wiki for every enemy and see their hidden. I don't even know where it says that the aggression value somewhere on this page. Um, that's like hidden in the code somewhere. um, but anyway, I think you want enemies to be uh, helpful or beneficial to you. Mournful spirits. This is a good one. Uh, I have this one, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, see these little spirits? If I kill something, this guy's dead, that guy's dead. Leave behind little ghost, and the ghost will deal damage to everything around you. Well, it does like a little curse field, and that's good. So I'm gonna let these guys. Never mind. Let's let them. I'll let them walk and chase me and through the ghost of this guy. No, come on. Alright. I'm just too good right now, so we won't have an opportunity to have things die like that. So you get the idea. I think I can kill this guy. No, never mind. That's just. I don't think the little block boss is there. I don't really call him the egg boss. He doesn't spawn in this area because it's a parallel universe. Or I guess you wouldn't call it a parallel universe, you'd call it an alternate universe because there's a different layout. So anyway, chest here. Ooh, chest. So that's the mournful spirits. It just leaves behind. What does it do? See, sometimes it tells you on the wiki the damage. Sometimes it doesn't. So it just says, oh, it does curse damage on contact. You know, how much damage? I don't know. Um, but if you get more of them, you get more spirits for each death. Each time you kill something. So I would say there's no reason not to get it. I mean, it's pretty good. Is it going to make me win the game every time? No, it's just convenient. I can lure them in through the trail of ghost. So, never skip leg day. Let's see. Never skip leg day. That one's not terrible. Um, as you may expect, it makes your kicks do massive damage. And so it does a few things. It applies force. Um, it does instead of 1 damage is 61 damage. It applies instead of 12 knockback, 20.4 knockback. I think that's what force means. Or your knockback is different than force. I don't know the difference in. Um, and then if you add telekinetic kick, it gives more speed. And it also cracks ice. But the problem is you have to get in their face to kick them. So you'll probably take some damage. This is not a realistic GIF here. Because he would actually be hurting the player, I think. So let's give that a pass. I'm not really a melee build. That might be a good challenge though. Complete the game with kicks only. But yeah, I don't typically think I need that. Oops. The next one, no more knockbacks. No more knockbacks. Is it prevents you from being knocked back. So this is different than the recoil. Recoil's from your own spells. If an enemy hits you, it might knock you back, but it does not stop dazed or the stun effect from lightning. That's not being knocked back. That's just an effect of the element. Um, so yeah, Steve shoots these like purple orbs at you that have a high knockback. So that would be the best, I guess, use of this. So this is a very short description. I guess there's not much to say about it. Um, it's better than nothing. This is always take. Oh, I love this perk. No more shuffle. Which means um, every wand that you currently hold that are nearby or in our future wands that you encounter will not be shuffle. So wands, if you don't know by now, have either shuffle or non-shuffle. Non-shuffle means that it shoots the spells in the order in which you have them placed. While otherwise they would shoot in random order, and it's not possible to really to craft the best one ever. Although if the attack speed is fast enough, it doesn't really matter. You're gonna get the what you want anyway, probably. Did I do that?
I guess I did that. Uh, yeah, so it's great to have early game because then you can totally um you might have the best wand ever, but it's shuffle. And so like you can't actually put the wands you want on it that would make the right combo to do the right thing. And so you're forced to switch it out later on. It might have an amazing always cast, but it doesn't matter. So that's just my thoughts on why it is one of the better perks. Oh, this is kind of crazy. Look at all that mana speed. Ooh, ooh. I kind of like that. Although I need a high mana for this. Maybe? Nah. Oh, oh, that's scary. Whoop. So, very important. You are never immune to terrain falling on you. Um, for some reason, I can be immune to a nuclear blast, but not a little pebble falling on me. So before we get too distracted, that is 100% get that. Early game is great. Even late game, the best wands you want to be non-shuffle. Next, uh, I don't know why I can't just. Here we go. It is called. What's the name of the spell? This perk. It's called. No Wand Tinkering. So this one has some important caveats. Um, you cannot edit wands anymore. However, there's a 20% chance that wands or enemies killed will drop the blood money. Just what you saw just now, that instead of providing gold, it gives you +5 health. Or it depends on the size of the gold. I think, yeah. If it's a bigger, it's 50. Well, I think, does it give you both? Blood Image is a special ruby regular, which heals you when picked up. Certain perks. The amount of health restored by picking up depends on its size. Hmm. So I guess it actually drops gold and the HP restored. So that's actually very important. Um, that's kind of crazy. I don't know why. Oh, so it's diminishing returns on the gold to health value. But anyway, um, that's a big downside, removing the ability to edit wands in holy mountains. So very important. It says edit wands in holy mountains. So there are other ways to edit your wands. If you remember the stacking. So if I get this first, and then later I get Tinker with Wands Anywhere, which is allows you to edit wands anywhere, then it overrules this, but I still get the blood money passive on it. So I can edit wands anywhere, overruling this, and I get the blood money. And some other things here, if I happen to hold this in my hand, this item that you get for killing this one boss, if I happen to be in a holy mountain already before it collapses, if you're in the lake cabin before the first time, if you're in the giant tree on these random dates, or if you go to the meditation cube, which is that thing we saw earlier that you stand on the cube and you go to this portal. If I went on that portal, though, I would go back to the main dimension, main world, so that wouldn't be helpful for me in that situation. Um, so I would say this one is kind of bad.
but it's kind of a gamble because I might come across later edit ones anywhere, which would be a good quality of assurance. I don't necessarily need it, quality of life. I mean, I can just take the wand I want, walk to a holy mountain, dump the spells into the new wand, and put the rest in my inventory, and then walk back and pick up my original wand. And if I wanted that one, it's kind of annoying. So this is a convenience. The trick is to keep holy mountains alive if you can, and then you won't have that problem. Yeah, but if these are with each other, then that's pretty good. The amount of healing from the crystals, the blood money, is not really substantial. Like we saw, it only gives 2 HP for a basic gold, and maybe 5 for a bigger one, 7.5 for the large one. So, you know, I can heal in better ways. What is this one? What'd be that one? Oil blood. This is interesting. You bleed oil, and oil catches fire, and it makes you bleed 3 times as much. However, it gives you fire immunity. So it's an alternative to just the straight fire immunity. It gives you um, more blood, which is bad for stainless armor. Um, and oil is slippery. Okay, I guess that's cool. Now, I guess it's cool. Yeah, I mean, I would rather just have the fire immunity. Um, but if I had to pick, I guess there's no reason not to get it. I don't really care about bleeding oil. I can always get rid of the bleeding oil by later getting the gas thing, bleed gas. Where is that? Here. So remember, it goes by a stack, um, first in, last out. So this, you get this first, and then you get this, and then that'll overrule the oil into gas. Where are we now? Peace with the gods. Yeah, I have not seen a Steve yet in my session tonight because I have this perk. He will never spawn in a holy mountain because we've made peace with the gods. So as much as we destroy the temple, he is never going to spawn. It also counts the way down here. If you do this certain quest and open this certain chest, you get the, what is it called? All for everything or something like that. It spawns a bunch of Steves, and that can be annoying. So I would not worry about that unless you really just want to get the spell to check off your list. But don't get Peace of the Gods just for that. But yeah, I mean, it's easy to kill Steve if you have any kind of ice spell. That's his weakness. If you don't find that and you're really just annoyed with fighting him, it's okay to have it. Otherwise, you lose out on all the gold you get killing him over and over again. I don't know how much gold he drops, like 600 something. So I'd say it's situational. You don't really need it, but it's convenient. If I'm going for speed to try to zip through the map as soon as possible, I might not want to stop and kill him every time. So let's get out of here while we're talking. That was a pretty scary enemy, actually. Uh, I think I need that for some achievement. Anyway, this is a good one. This is a very good one. Perk lottery. So if I you see in the past in the previous shops I've been to, I have been able to pick up one, two, or three perks because I have this perk that allows it so there's a 50% chance the other perks will not disappear. Um, and it can actually be triggered the first time you pick it up. So even if you're just doing a normal run and you get that early, like the first zone, that's when you get the most use out of it. Um, so I would get it here, and the next one I might get two or three, and then two or three, and then one, and then two or three. I could end up in the last zone here with 15 perks, especially if I have the extra perk spells or perk, extra perk. So this is always take that because it just gives you more, and more is better. Shield, personal shield. There's a personal shield spell that takes up a spell slot, so having it as a perk is good. So I will say that's pretty good. It also, as you were seeing, stops my healing bolts from reaching me. So that's kind of the only downside. I don't know what you call this one. This is kind of a silly spell, isn't it? It's called Personal Plasma Beam. It shoots out a plasma beam out of your face. It does actually disintegrate water or evaporates water. I don't know if it also works on lava and other liquids, but it could be useful in that regard. It doesn't break invisibility, so I could like stealth kill everyone by just running up to their face and shooting my laser beam at them. It can dig through sands and like dirt, basic dirt. Yeah, here it can get rid of dangerous liquids like polymorphine. It can be very tedious, so I might as well just um, use a black hole and drain it. Um, yeah, it could set off explosives. So that's at this point, you would get this perk after you have explosive immunity, and it doesn't really provide much value except that it just does a little bit of contact damage. So I will give it a. It's a good quality of life improvement. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or I'd say it needs setup because you do need the explosive immunity. You don't want to like run in front of an explosive and it explodes because you're just looking at it. And then we have phasing. Pretty simple. Projectiles phase through you. There's some math involved here. Um, it checks small radius of 12 pixels around you that moves slower than 1,000. So very fast ones, it's not going to stop. Like the turret from these guys, it won't stop. It won't um, phase those away. But unless it's there's a 50% chance that the projectile is teleported behind you instead of hitting you. Smaller projectiles are less likely or more likely to phase. It doesn't protect you from your own spells. It also increases the damage taken by projectiles and explosives by 33%. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, oh my. It also applies to healing projectiles, making them much less effective at healing you. Yeah, that is true. So your own healing spells will not help you. And then if you have multiple stacks of it, it does not. It just checks multiple times, and then deletes 50% more for each projectile, something like that. So it's good. It keeps you alive. It only I would only rank it a little lower because it stops you from using your healing bolts on you. So that's why I wish it didn't do that. um, Pinpointer. I mean, pretty simple. It just gives you a pointer. But it also reduces the spread by 20% or 20 degrees, increases speed by 40%. So that would help you through black holes, making them go further. Um, I don't know. I mean, it looks cool. There are better ways to improve your projectile speed. Um, but I would, I would give it, you might as well get it. I don't know. I wouldn't get it over like, a lot of other perks, but if that helps you aim because it has a sight, that's cool. I don't know. Um, so yeah, I'd probably rank it a little lower. Maybe annoying because I wish it was better. All it does is give you a visual sight, and 40% is not as good as 2.5 times. Um, or just adding, you could add multiple of these spells onto the modifier on the spell, something like that. And then we have next on the list rats. Rats. Who doesn't like rats? Pretty simple. Plague rats. Rats no longer harm you, which is not hard to do anyway if you have just one stack of the more love. And when an enemy dies, they release rats. So I have some of those. If I can show you here. Here's my rats. That guy died. He spawned rats. And the game freaks out a little bit. I don't know how much damage they do. Or how long they last. Let's see. Not that long. So that guy just... I'd say they lasted like 20 seconds there. Maybe. That's being generous. Whoa, mamma mia. I saw this one. What is that one? Oh no! I didn't take that much damage. That was kind of crazy. All that acid there did nothing to me. I was just chilling in it. What? It's good enough for now. Trying to get to the surface and multitask, but plague rats, I mean, they didn't do a lot of damage, I guess. They actually do a pretty good distraction. So if you want to escape enemies, just kill one, and that'll spawn two rats to distract the enemies. Um, but otherwise, I don't think you really need it. They're cute little rats, but that's it. But the next spell, or next perk, I mean, perks are basically permanent spells on your character, permanent buffs. So we can kind of use that interchangeably. It is projectile duplication. Okay, it gives you a 50% chance to shoot the projectile twice, but it gives you 25% more damage from projectiles. So that can remember that, what is it? We didn't get to it. This one gives you 20% less projectile resistance, or 20% projectile resistance. So this is going to counteract that. But the essentially double damage, 50% of the time, I think isn't always take that. The only probably downside of it is that if I teleport, my teleport's really fast, so I don't really care. I'm not trying to get to a specific spot, just trying to go up. If I had, if I shot a teleport bolt, it would shoot twice, and it might not get me exactly where I want to be if I'm trying to get to an exact spot, because the second one might hit somewhere else. Um, but that's it. I don't know why you wouldn't want to get this. Um, all the projectile modifiers apply to the duplicate projectile, including cast and recharge delays, excluding the mana drain. So the duplicate is free, and it has all the projectile modifiers and everything else on it. And you can get 128 stacks of this. And the extra stacks will make you very weak to the projectile damage, I guess. But they'll be. It actually doesn't increase. It's telling you it does not increase. Um, yeah, stacking increases the number of projectiles created, doesn't increase the odds of creating projectiles. So you would shoot. Um, you have a 50% chance of shooting 2, and then 3, and then 4. So if I had a 50% chance to copy my spell 128 times, that sounds really crazy. You have to be very patient to get this many stacks, but that would be very powerful. Imagine shooting off 128 nukes at once. I think that's a war crime. I'm not sure. Um, and then what's this called? Projectile Eater. It's a shield on your butt, and unlike the other shields, like this guy's shield here can pop the circle around him. But the shield behind him, you can see here, it eats that sniper bullet, so it completely deletes it as if it never happened. So there's no on-hit effects of it. There's no like liquids that would pop off it or anything like that. No explosion debris or anything like that. It just deletes from existence, and that's good. Um, so I don't know why you wouldn't want that. That's just always take it. It could save your life if you're running away from something. They almost can do like no damage to you if you kind of like position yourself correctly. Uh, Repulsion fields. This is a good one. There's so many good perks, and then there's only a few that are iffy. I probably wouldn't get them. So I love this game for the flexibility and how you want to play. You could go the challenge route. Um, you could just go if you're patient and just become invincible. So anyway, projectile repulsion field. So it says, um, most projectiles are repulsed by your presence, but you take slightly more projectile damage, which slightly means 1.26 times as much. Not crazy, but it does have a negative. I don't think you need additional stacks of this, because one is already enough. You could see it was repelling plenty of projectiles. So it doesn't tell you what happens if you have more than one stack of it. Um, hmm. I don't know how it does the math on this, but does this tell me anything? Nope. Yeah, it has anti-synergy with Healing Bolt because it repulses those. Um, so the solution is to get Piercing Shot, of course. Piercing Shot is a spell which pierces through shields and any kind of reflection. So that's a pretty good spell for hurting yourself, and you want to hurt yourself with Healing Bolt, because that actually has negative damage. Remember? Um, yeah. So every 2 frames of potion fuel adds speed to projectiles within 50 pixels radius. It will also randomly change the direction at most 30 degrees. The direction randomization also provides an onset that push projectiles that have no speed. I don't know what that means. If projectile with no speed. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say outside of the ability not to heal yourself. So if you can't heal yourself, it's bad. So that's why this is here, this is here. Um, yeah. I wish you could heal yourself. Yeah, if that was the exception, it takes work to set up, so to make it good. But reflecting or repulsing most projectiles keeps you alive, which is which saves you health, which is kind of like healing, um, because it saves you life. So you know what I'm saying. And you want to eventually get the circle of vigor anyway. Is that what you call this thing? Uh, circle of vigor, exactly. Whoa, I'm here, I'm there, and where am I? Oh, what's that? Here we go. What is that? Oh, it's my Lukey. It's my Lukey pet. He's like flying at my speed. That's funny. Okay. Oh, what's doing that? Can you not? It's that connoisseur. Let's see. That's crazy. I teleported through that. Here. Let me just get in here real fast. I gotta have a little fun while I'm doing this. Oh, chest. Oh, okay. I don't care about gold. What is our next perk that we need to demonstrate here? Oh, not up this way. Come on. Here we go. Vampirism. Well, we said we get to vampirism, so let's talk about vampirism. Um, oh, it's my old list that I didn't like. Vampirism. Let's read the stats on that. Vampire is a perk which allows you to heal yourself by consuming blood. Blood can be consumed from a potion or directly from the ground, and the health restored will be the same, approximately 4 for the 10% of the potion flask worth consumed, or approximately 100 pixels on the ground. So it is very slow. If I had 100 health, I need to consume 40% of my potion, which is very slow. So you could abuse this by having Mumekium infinitely making you blood. And you had the more blood perk, you would make a lot more blood, but you can't actually increase the speed at which you slurp up blood. So you'll always be doing that. And you just have to be patient and wait. And vampires apparently gives you immunity to food poisoning, prevents fungal shifting. So if you like to fungal shift, which is a gamble mechanic, you can't do that. I don't know why. I don't know why that would affect that. That's kind of weird. Um, yeah, use chainsaw to give you more blood. You can use blood cloud to give you blood. That's cool. Um, so it actually has one downside of reducing your max health by 25% for the first time you get it. Or, yeah, just the one time reduce your health. When possible, it's a good idea to fill up blood. Da, 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 da. So, what do I think of it? I think that it's kind of silly. If that's the only way you have to heal yourself, it's kind of sad. Because who wants to sit there for 2 minutes slurping up red stuff? So, and it needs situational setup because you need to have a way to make blood. So you need to have that Greek letter spell and Mumekium. You need to have um, Rain Cloud. You need to find some blood potions. So it's not the greatest. And what was the other one here? Gold Forever. We already have that one. Already have that one. How would I want to? I guess I don't have that. I guess we'll get Greed. I guess we'll get that one. And I guess we'll get that one. I don't know what more stacks of this does. Gives you more pixels. Next. We've seen these, but I can get a second stack of greed. Hey! Anything over here we need? Nope. See, that could have been bad. I would have lost, I don't know, 100 health or so. Anything down here? The gods are very generous, looking the other way constantly, huh? Oh, yeah, I'll take that. And this, that, the other. The gold doesn't despawn. Hey, that's great. Don't want the Lukey, don't want a Homunculus. Sure, low recoil. I swear I already had that one. Alright, I wasn't seeing any new perks we haven't talked about. That's what I was hoping for. But let's see. Next on the list is... What is this? Repulsion, projectile repulsion sector. Somewhat better, somewhat worse. So it's a stronger version of the repulsion field, but it has a narrower field, so it won't reflect every projectile, only the ones that are directly in front of your wand. But it has the advantage then because I can shoot a healing bolt and then look the other way, and then the healing bolt will come back at me. So that will help me in that regard. So it is better than I'd prefer it over that. And I don't know why you just wouldn't take it. I mean, in that case, I can heal with it, and it repulses. It's stronger repulsion. So this is what it says. Okay, it behaves like a stronger version, but like give me some details. Like, does that mean it can repulse different projectiles, bigger projectiles, different types of projectiles, different elements or something? I don't know. It's just the wiki could tell me more, but it doesn't. And then we have what? Slow down, projectile slower. I mean, pretty simple. It slows down projectiles. Doesn't give me some crazy formula on that. It just slows them down, which I assume would be better with healing bolts. So yeah, that's pretty good. I'll take that. Always take that. This one I'm less impressed with. Rage fuel levitation. If you kill an enemy, you restore. The player is granted 1.2 seconds worth of levitation, and that's 40% of your default levitation. So it can be useful to recharge your levitation if you have many stacks of strong levitation. I mean, okay. I never really have a problem with running out of levitation as much. And when I have a fast teleport wand, it doesn't really matter because I'm teleporting everywhere. So I would just skip that one. Uh, What's this called? Repelling cape, something like that? Repelling cape, exactly. Repelling cape says it causes stains to drop faster rate when you are moving. So it's great with stainless armor because I can just I'm gonna be stainless sooner, so I'll have the effect of this again, which this is how you get infinite, or you get all immunity from all types of damage with this. And I would say that's pretty good. Now, notice that it's only when you're moving that the stains drop off. So if you want to use ambrosia, you can use it to fight a boss as long as you're standing still, and you'll still have the complete immunity. So if you didn't know, because don't know this game, you're just watching. Ambrosia gives you protection from all, so the creature is stained by it. So it blocks all types of damage, including lava and curse rock and all that. So yeah, this is a pretty good one to pair with stainless armor. That's why we're gonna put it right under that. Those go together. Um, it's probably bad for Invisibilium because you have to move. Otherwise, why would you be invisible, I guess? But then you just get the perk anyway. Where'd I put the perk? Yeah, situational. So next, revenge projectile. Is that what we call that? That is what we call revenge bullets. Close enough. If you take damage, you have you shoot out. This one you automatically shoot a projectile. There's no chance, but the chance here is it gives you 20% more protection from projectiles and explosion resistance. So if you stack enough of these, you can have immunity to projectiles and explosion. Um, and that's pretty good. It has a 10% 10 frame cooldown, so it's not going to pump out um, bullets, but that's okay. So anything that can reduce projectile damage to give you infinite or 100% protection, that's pretty good. So like we'll just do the tentacles next. Where is that? Revenge tentacles. Yep. Same idea, but it shoots out a tentacle instead, which a tentacle spell does melee damage, but oddly enough, this one does projectile damage. So I don't know why if that matters for a certain enemy type. But this gives you 25% resistance to projectile damage, while this one gave you 20%, right? Make sure that is correct information. Yeah, 20%, and then 25%, so you're already at 45%. Um, yeah, that's pretty good. This is actually kind of funny though because if you drop in lava, you are taking damage every second, and it just like you'll flail your tentacles crazy. And that's what happens. It tries to target an enemy, I guess, but if it's just passive damage, it doesn't know what to do with it. So, Revenge Explosion. This one is less optimal. It does explosive damage when you're hit. So here, I don't know why it does that much damage. I feel like it shouldn't do that much damage. It does 150 explosion damage and has a 72 explosion radius. I don't know what that means. 72 pixels or something? But you also take 25% less explosion damage, which, okay, I guess you just get the explosion immunity anyway. So I don't really care about that. Um, so the explosion it produces does not harm you. Very important. So you don't have to worry about that. It doesn't tell you that in this description, but it doesn't harm you. And yeah, so this can stack. So what does it happen when it stacks? The explosion multiplier by per stack. You create additional explosions centered in the same location on per stack. Oh, so if I had 10 of these perks, it would just do 10 explosions in a row. That's kind of crazy. And also, if you have Berserkium, that buffs it up. Okay, okay. Um, I think that's average. It's not as good as these because these include projectile resistance. This is just explosive resistance that I would get with this anyway. So that's that. Or this. So let me put these together here so we know these are related. Alrighty, Revenge Rats, I think this was called. Yes, Revenge Rats. Probably, I guess, the least effective of all the revenge perks. When you take damage, you spit out a rat. um, and that's what happens. And then the rat, like we saw, has minimal health and disappears after 10 seconds and doesn't do very much. He is a good distraction, I guess. So I will put that under better than nothing. Let's see here. Saving Grace. Who is Grace? Why are we saving her? If you would take, it prevents death as long as your health is above 1. That's pretty good. So, essentially, if you would die, it takes you to 1 health and then gives you invulnerability for 60 frames, about a second. And then you need to heal up. If you can heal up, and then you take damage again, you go back to 1. So as long as you can keep healing, you can keep staying alive. You'll never die. You can't be 1 shot, basically. You have to be 2 shot to die. And so extra lives are consumed when you die. Saving Grace is reusable as long as you can heal, and it'll recharge. It'll be reused again. So how long does it take to recharge though? Doesn't tell me that. It just says it will recharge after healing above. So I suppose that's instant. As long as you heal, you can use it again. So I think that is very good. You might as well take that. It basically gives you another chance at life. Although I think the what we saw before for the extra life is that extra life gives you 30 frames, half a second of invulnerability. That gives you a whole second of invulnerability here. So that's a difference too, I guess. Bleed slime. I mean, self-explanatory. You bleed slime. Um, and also it makes you bleed 3 times as much, but you are no longer have the slimy effect. You're not slowed down when you're in slime, and it gives you 25% resistance to projectile damage. While this one makes you immune to fire, this one gives you a quarter percent protection from projectile. I would rather have the fire protection and bleed oil because oil is or fire is much more prevalent than bullets I can push away anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that as quality of life, but I would rather have this one, and I'd rather stack these instead for the projectile resistance. That's my thinking. Could be wrong. Uh, Spatial awareness. This is the perk you get for killing the mecha Colmy. I don't think it's on this list, is it? No. What do we care about that? I guess we'll just show you. So essentially, if you stand still for about a minute, or about actually I guess like 10 seconds, your HUD displays locations on the map. So if you want to explore the map without using the wiki map, um, you want to use the game itself to tell you where to go. These are all locations where secrets are. These are locations where the holy mountains are. I don't know what some of these things are off the top of my head. But if you feel like you need that and you don't want to play the game, you want to play the game blind and not explore the wiki and figure out all these hidden things you would have no idea how to do or what, or, um, you know, if that's your thing, then I would say maybe it is a quality of life improvement. That's just what we'll say about that. Um, I think that there's a legitimate use for it because in these rooms here are there can randomly be a certain boss you need to kill some other boss. There's some kind of quest involved with these little pockets. So there's that, and they're kind of these are all randomly pocketed around the world. So that's useful for that. Vomit rats. I mean, this is probably the silliest perk yet. Where is that? Spontaneous gestration? It's basically vomit rats. Uh, it causes vomit and urine near you to transmute into ratty powder. When released into the world, ratty powder will automatically be removed and has a chance to spawn Rutoto, which is the plague rat. What is ratty powder? I don't know. Ratty powder is a unique substance which is immediately removed with a chance to spawn Ratuda in its place. Oh, okay. So basically, it's just a little mixture that makes rats. And so, in order to get vomit, you have to overeat food. Um, so you could eat corpses, you can eat oil, eat blood, whatever substance you may or may not want to eat, you're going to vomit out. Eventually, if you're over saturated with food, it does give you a negative effects like wasted if it's oil, alcohol, food poisoning, or maybe poison. So there's a negative effect of that, but you get some rats. You have to get rats. That's just the only way to get rats. And apparently, if you spit vomit on lava, you get acid. So that's good to know, I guess. I don't see the benefit so much of this one. Let me see if it can tell me a benefit. It sounds like too much work to get rats. This perk will have middling effects, as vomit can be somewhat uncommon to come by consistently. With a lucky fungal reality shift, however, you can convert more common liquid like water or oil into vomit, increasing the consistency of this perk. Fungal shifting blood into vomit is especially effective. See, let me stop you right there. If the perk has to rely on fungal shifting to be useful, it's probably not useful to begin with. So there we go. Skip. Hearts. Stronger hearts, pretty simple. It makes hearts you pick up stronger. So instead of giving you 25, it gives you um instead of giving you 25, it gives you 50. And then it kind of is a slow build to give you 100 if you have 9 stacks. And that makes a big difference. So I would say this is a great perk. But it does depend on actually if you find hearts. You might actually be bad at finding hearts, bad at exploring, you don't know the map very well, or you just have an unlucky seed where there's just not a lot of hearts in your playthrough. So it's kind of a gamble, but if you can just get like 3 hearts, then you have 150. Well, here, if you got 3 hearts, you'd only get 75. It's just twice as much health is very good. So I will say that is probably a gamba. In my situation, because I've broken the bounds of reality, I can't be stopped. And I'm gonna, on that note, before we finish the list here, let's see what our next area is. This is a playthrough, quote unquote, and a perk gun. Yeah, we'll go with that. Uh, and there's our plague rats. Dying enemies release rats. Let's get another stack of this. If I take damage, I cause explosions. If I cast new wands, I get healing. Okay. And let's go kill that worm, baby. A little bit of gold, that's cool. Oh, go down. This guy gives you a guaranteed heart, and he's not too hard to kill. I've done it a few times already, but even if you are in the main world on your normal run, he's weak to slice and frost. And he always gives you a free wand. That's decent, not too bad. That actually is better than that. 9 slots, 9 slots. I think it's probably about the same. This one's pretty fast. Yeah, alright, anyway. I thought this would be a shorter playthrough this time because I actually learned kind of what I want to talk about. But it's not because there's too many perks in the game. How did I take damage there? That was kind of weird. Oh, there's a heart. Give me heart. See, that was kind of weird. I had this happen a few times. I teleport so fast and the game doesn't know what to do because I guess I get to an area so quickly. Um, I got stuck in the brick because the game. I think it hasn't loaded in that area, that chunk of the world yet, and then I just already teleported there, something like that. That would be my theory. Whoa. That's kind of dangerous there. I might have ruined the temple. I guess this could be dangerous if I get an always cast on this. What do you think? Should I do it? Ooh, I should do it. Always cast. Oh, I did on this one. Always cast homing. Oh no, I was holding the wrong wand. Well, that could be bad. Well, I kind of want to get rid of this anyway because it doesn't have very many slots on it. So let me see. Like this one's not terrible. 11 slots versus this many. So excuse me as I just edit this up here. Just having fun, guys. And let's get back to business though, before I forget. This thing, kind of bad. Uh, what does it do? I've used it like once and I didn't really get it. Not gonna lie. You summon Skadgavitsky. Skadgahivi. It's an item that you can pick up, and you can see here it'll blast through all this material. Extremely dense rock, curse rock, the temple, brick. Um, but it only does a vertical beam. You can't control it going down. Um, I guess you can set a trap and kill like maybe a boss with it. I'm not sure how that would work if it reflect damage to you or something. Um, so it's a great tool for getting back to the surface. Yeah, except that it's only a one-time use. So a one-off. Um, I think it's only a one-time use, right? Let's see, it disappears. Yeah. So that's not very good. I would say you can skip that most of the time. Where are we? Here. Wait. Oh, oh, what do I do with it? Where's my tier list? Oh no. Here it is. Wait. This is my tier list? Did I finish? No. That can't be right. Am I crazy? Um, what the? Did I accidentally close it? I might have accidentally closed it. Oh, but it seemed to remember what I was doing. That's okay, good. Phew. Okay, so skip that one. Toxic immunity. It's an immunity. It's not as good as the other ones because you can just spray water over toxic and it'll dilute it. Um, but it's something to put out fires in, I guess, too. Gold never despawns. That's pretty good. I mean, sure, it's a quality of life. You know, eventually gold doesn't matter as much, but it helps you in the beginning. Telekinesis. This one's kind of funny. Telekinesis. Or telekinetic kick. So you can pick up statues and throw them at Steve. Otherwise, a lot of things you pick up are explosives themselves, and you don't want to put an explosive in your face and then have someone shoot the explosive. That's kind of bad, so I think you can skip that. The Teleportius, but this one is a short Teleportius. Teleportius dodge. So it's a more controlled version. This is an example here. Rather than teleporting you across the map, you just get teleported a short distance away. Still bad because you could get into lava or somewhere. I've had more success with it in my memory, but I'd put it there. Is this chance for blood money? And I've been doing that in my playthrough here. So that is as long as you get trick kills. So they die from the environment, they die from something falling on them. They will drop blood money. So it's a way to heal. It's not. It's a pretty easy way to heal too. If you take your time and you kick things at people. So I would say that's a good quality of life improvement. Not gonna be an always take because it's a very small amount of healing, and there are better ways to heal. Infinite spells, not what you think it is because it does not give you. It does not give healing and black holes infinite. And I think there's like one other spell. All the touch of spells are not infinite. Yeah, these are the exceptions. Um, yeah, that'd be crazy having Giga Nuke, Omega Black Hole. That is infinite. But having infinite bombs in the beginning helps you dig down to the bottom and explore, and that's cool. Uh, and yeah, so I think that's cool. But do I need it? Not really, because you're gonna have better ways to dig, like black holes with Greek letters. So it's good at the beginning of the game, and that's about it. So I would say it is situational. Um, this one's pretty good. Let me finish up editing this one before I forget. Okay, let's see how fast this one is. So if I put all my teleport stuff here, now I did all that. Wait a minute. This here. Oh, now I can do the sand. Yes. I want to, the sand modifying this. I think you do like that. And then the last spell will be that. Yeah. No, the last spell will be this. So I need the first spell copied. And then it needs to be like this. Oh, this has to be a double. Which I don't have a double, it'll be a triple, that's fine. Oh, wow. So that's doing what I wanted to do, but I need more mana. I need more mana. Maybe I don't need 3 on here, do I? Do I? Anyway, if there's a way to get that to work, that'd be cool. Be very cool, bro.
I just want to dig and not worry about anything around me. Wow. Whoop. Me. Me. Secret shop. Oh, that could have been bad. All that acid fell on me. I think it would have been not good for me. Anyway, so that seems to work out. I don't know why sand seems to make more water or displaces the water, but that's that. Um, what do you call this one? Wand radar. It makes you detect wands. That's pretty good, especially if you're in the fungal area over here. There's a lot of wands, but it can be a little tricky navigating the area because everything kind of looks the same. So pretty useful to know which way's up and all that. So I would give this an always take. I mean, it's pretty good. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I got this mixed up. This is the wand radar. This one is the wand healing, wand experimenter. So as if you fire an unused wand that has not been edited, the first few shots will heal you. And so for the first 7 shots, it heals you for a total of that much damage, that much healing. And it's better if it's a shuffle wand for some reason. Um, yeah, and this perk, the perk may make you want to shoot wands that are potentially dangerous. Those wands are still potentially dangerous and may deal far more damage than they heal. Like if you had a nuke in your or a bomb cart with, a drill. The drill immediately ignites the bomb cart. Don't do that. That would be silly. So I would say it's good but annoying because you have to cast potentially dangerous spells. You have to go out of your way to find wands sometimes if you need the health. Um, and you might not want to do that. And finally, but last but not least, we have the worm attractor. What do you do with worm attractor? Well, you attract the worms to you. um, the it increases the spawn rate of all worm type enemies, like the big worm, little worms. The big worms have the chance to drop the extra health, which I think we saw a few times tonight. It can also be a last resort stand-in for a digging one. Man, you probably want melee immunity. That's true. Um, who is this guy? Kalimato. Kalimamato. Oh, the big guy. This is the ghost guy. He doesn't actually do any digging, but he's still a worm type enemy, even though he's a ghost. So he would be attracted to you. Kind of weird. Um, that's kind of weird too. If you have 100, you max out the stack of these. Would like the entire world be filled with worms? You increase the spawn rate of them. I don't know about that. So I'm gonna say you probably don't want worms to spam your location. So yeah, you don't want that. So that's gonna be my
tier list. Let me do a quick review of it. Anything suspicious here? Um, hmm. Maybe put item finder higher because you can get hearts from it. Um, but I would still prefer this one because that just gives you half your life immediately instead of having to find hearts. Um, some people will dispute this one because they're not trying to go for the stainless combo. And otherwise, I think this is pretty good. Maybe you really want to find the moon, and so you want to put the moon in S tier always take, but it's up to you guys. Live your best life. That's all I gotta say to you. So, if you like my tier list, and you like my adventure to do this, I was really hoping to find a way to do this. Let me put the other add mana on it. And then we can do this. Now nothing can stop my teleporting. Does that have another one? I think there were some other ones somewhere. This just has bad region? I don't know why. Hmm. So it's destroying the environment as I'm passing through it, and I think that's great. By the way, if you go to the edge of the map here, there's like secret shop, secret shop, secret shop, baby. No, it's not here. Maybe it's not in parallel worlds, but I was looking for this place here. Yeah, right here. This should always be on either left or right side. Let me see if it's in the parallel worlds. Um, nope, it is not. I wasted my time. Well, I think this whole adventure was not a waste of time because I learned a lot about the game, and hopefully you did too. And you enjoyed my shenanigans running around here doing all this. I think I need more health. That's what I need, probably. So I wonder then if I could destroy the cursed rock like this eventually on my own without needing black holes. Just zip through it. That would be pretty cool. But until next time, everyone, I will see you around.